Black Alpha Network. Home of Black excellence. Power to the people.
I often wish that I could be everywhere at one time. I wish that I could have saved every single black soul that has ever been harmed by a race soldier during this anti-black race war. Even those who were harmed before I was old enough to help them, I still feel the deep guilt in the pit of my stomach for not being there to protect them. I've had dreams that I spoke to Trayvon Martin the night he was attacked. I've had nightmares that I was just seconds late from saving Breonna Taylor the night she was taken from us. Just to wake up and realize that I can't be everywhere at once and I can't save everyone. And sometimes I feel personally responsible for not being there to help all of our people, especially our children. I've learned to live with this passion. Even though it's not realistic, I always feel the urge to try. We must stick together, family, and look out for each other at all times. It's going to take all of us to get to where we're going because we're all we got. Appreciate the love. Black Owens. What's poppin'? What's poppin'? Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. We are back. We are here. We are live. Black Alpha Network, the Black AlphaCast. One more time for the FBA family tree. B1's in the sky. Man, peace and love to the family. Peace and love to the certifieds. We building, we working, we shining, we grinding. Appreciate the tap in. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you share this video all the way around because we got a lot to say today. And we gonna put it all on the line today because this is our time. All these other motherfuckers is just here. All these other motherfuckers is just here wasting space. Trust and believe. This is all about certified foundational black Americans. We are the epicenter of this whole motherfucking world. Shout out to everybody that was in Dallas for the FBA Expo. Shout out to everybody that I hugged, that I dapped, the whole family. Y'all know I love it. Every time I say the brothers, the sisters, the kings, the queens, the goddess, and the gods, and I see in all of them, man, so much love. So when I say that we're the epicenter of black empowerment, we are the epicenter of black empowerment. Name me a place on the planet Earth that was putting out more black empowerment than the FBA Expo. There wasn't any. And I'm not just talking about America. I'm not talking about these 50 states. I'm not talking about these borders. I'm not talking about the East Coast, the West Coast, down south, up north. Nope. I'm talking about the whole planet Earth. There wasn't one spot on this planet that was putting out more black excellence than at the FBA Expo. How do I know? Because I was there, and all my brothers and sisters who couldn't make it, we were holding you down in spirit because we are one big family. And y'all know I'm always talking about how I love you with a passion. It's one thing to just love somebody. It's one thing to just say, oh, I love you, L-U-V, fuck that. No, L-O-V-E with the passion. Love the family. So it was so good to see everybody. I mean, it was just such a great event. Everybody that I sat down was able to look at eye to eye, talk to, have good long conversations with. All my certified sisters, all my certified brothers. I mean, I swear I took probably 100 different pictures with a billion different people, but it was all love because it was from our family. And when it comes from home, it means that much more. So no matter what people think, no matter what people thought, no matter how many motherfuckers hate on us, they can never duplicate the type of love, the type of passion, and the type of energy that we put out. And not just at the FBA Expo, but all the time, 24/7, 365. So I send a certified salute to everybody. And everyone in the chat right now, let me know where you at. What city, what town, what state, what county. Y'all know how we do. I don't give a damn if you tell me the side of the street that you live on. Go ahead and throw it in the comment section, throw it in the chat, and let's lock in and let's do what we do best, and that's stay certified BLACK all the way around. Much love. Y'all know, don't nobody love the family as much as I do. Nobody, I'm telling you. And it was so great to see everybody. I promise you that. I'll always remember it. I'll cherish the memories forever. And we're going to continue to build more memories and just keep this thing going, all the momentum that we have. And the momentum that we have is the same momentum that's got everybody out here jealous, got everybody out here angry, got all the spite, all the vitriol. Motherfuckers got salt all in their goddamn teeth when they talk about us. Well, they going to be some salty motherfuckers because FBA ain't stopping. The B1 train is moving, and certified black society's untouchable. So with all of that lined up, all of that said, and all that put on the motherfucking table, tell the motherfuckers keep on singing it, because we gonna keep on bringing it. Yes, in motherfucking D. But yeah, family, we got a good show for y'all tonight. We're gonna break down all these other groups that come around here and they try to snuggle up next to the dominant society. They try to pretend to be the dominant society. Y'all know everybody that they used to tell us was our friends. We all's peoples of colors. We all's minorities. We all's on the same team. And we are the generation that exposed all that bullshit. We are the generation that canceled out all those motherfucking lies. We're going to talk about all these Crayola supremacists. Yeah, they could be on all that shit. The people of color, that's for a crayon box. You can have that shit. Motherfucker, you could be green, yellow, orange, motherfucking lavender. I don't give a fuck. This is certified black, okay? Black empowerment. Black first, and we're gonna continue to represent that and understand that we stand over here alone on our own motherfucking turf, doing our own motherfucking thing in our own motherfucking yard, and we're not gonna be fooled with the Crayola boxes and the peoples of color. So if you think that type of shit is gonna make you slide into our community, gonna let you infiltrate what we got going on, you got another motherfucking thing coming, because this generation don't play that. And speaking of don't play that, before we get into the show, family, can I tell y'all what happened to me in Dallas? Matter of fact, before we get to Dallas, let me rewind. Let me go all the way back to Orlando, Florida, okay? I flew from Orlando, Florida, and this is the Black Alpha Network, so I can be as uncut, as real, unfiltered as I motherfucking want to be. I can say fuck you, motherfucker, shit, goddamn, damn it, damn you, damn them, damn everybody. No filter, okay? The filter button, I ain't come with one, all right? That motherfucking, if I did, that bitch been broken a long time ago. So we gonna be as real and certified in FBA as we choose to do. This is my foundational Black American Expo travel story. And a lot of y'all already heard it, but I'm gonna give it to you again for those who haven't heard it. And then I'm gonna give you the Black Alpha Network version, which is a little more raw and uncut, just the way we like it. So, I flew from Orlando, Florida, a straight flight all the way to Dallas, Texas. I show up at the airport 2 hours before my flight. Already checked in on the internet the night before. Yes, indeed. So I done covered everything, right? Good to go. Everything's great. Checked in on the internet the night before, bought my ticket before, got all the goddamn confirmations, showed up 2 hours early, because they always say, make sure that you show up an hour before your flight. All right, well, not only did I show up 2 hours before my flight, I had already checked in online. So, when I get there, we see a big, long-ass line, me and Queen Alpha. We see a big, long-ass line. I'm like, okay, it's cool. Big, long line, all right, shouldn't be that bad. The line is 45 minutes. And then that 45 minutes turns into an hour. And I'm looking at the goddamn clock. I'm like, okay, this shit's moving along slow. Okay, I got it. Good. Guess what? I already checked in online. It should be an easy process. So we get to the counter, and I'm like, hey, checked in online. Here's all my stuff. ID card. Let's go. I got a flight to catch. Let's keep it moving. And some old half bald-headed ass woman, looks like a mix between The Color Purple and Real Housewives of Atlanta. She says, we can't check your bags. You got to go way over there to some fucking Walmart checkout scan. And then you got to pay $25 and then get back in the line. That's another 45 minutes. And if you do all that, then I'll check you in. And then she was snotty. Y'all know how some of them flight motherfuckers be, right? They be real snotty as hell, just rude for no reason. See, I ain't the one to be motherfucking rude with, to be 100 with you, all right? And they only do that because they feel nice and secure in their nice little job. You know, the same person that talk to you crazy at the job or on the job, but you know they would never talk to you like that outside. You know the boss that'll get loud with you when you're on the clock. They see your ass at the store and they be like, hey, how you doing? Nice to see you. Oh, I didn't know that was you. Oh my God. Then they flip-flop all day long. She look like one of them motherfuckers. So she getting all rude and shit. Now mind you, this is early in the morning, so I'm already motherfucking turned up and I got a flight to catch. Anyway, gotta go get back in line, do all the little shit, hop back in. Guess what? The flight got 2 minutes and I'm not even in security yet. So we gotta go all the way through the goddamn airport, run around, jump around, hop around, skip around, get to the goddamn gate, and we are 2 minutes late. The door's shut. Yes. Now mind you, this ticket costs, we ain't gonna go there. Just say I paid a pretty penny for this motherfucking ticket. So now I'm sitting there thinking, I'm gonna be out on the whole flight, I'm gonna be out on the hotel, on the tickets to the event, everything. But for my love for my certified foundational Black Americans, like I said, wasn't nothing gonna make me miss this event. So it's all good. ask the lady, hold on, before I go there, get back in line. Y'all bear with me, because this is real. I'm sure some other people got some crazy flight stories, because I was hearing a whole bunch of stuff with some of these airlines. It's almost like they try to put these hurdles and blockades in front of foundational black Americans, but don't they know that every single hurdle you throw in front of us, we knock that motherfucker, or we don't even jump it. We just knock that motherfucker out the side. So this story ends, obviously, with foundational black Americans winning. It ends, obviously, with the Black Alpha Network holding it down with the family in Dallas, Texas. So we win in the long run. But nonetheless, I gotta get back in line again, rebook the goddamn flight, and instead of landing in Dallas, Texas at 12 p.m., I am now scheduled to land in Dallas right before midnight. And not only that, now I gotta call the hotel and tell them that I'm going to be late. So I missed out on a whole day at the hotel. Had to rebook a whole $200, $300 fucking dollars that I didn't even have on the books, but it's all good. It's all for the family. Once again, you put up hurdles, we gonna knock them motherfuckers over. You put up blockades, we gonna run right through the motherfuckers, because FBA always wins. So, get back in line, rebook the flight, all that. We sat in the airport for 10 hours. Okay, 10. We waited for 10 hours for our flight. So we do everything possible, just trying to kill time. I'm on the phone with one of my brothers. Y'all know who he is. I'm telling him, hey, bro, I'm going to be late. Matter of fact, two of my partners. Y'all know who they are. I'm calling them on the phone. I'm like, hey, bro, I'm going to be late. My damn flight got messed up. They gave me the runaround, everything, because we had some stuff planned. You feel me? So it's all on key. So I talked to the hotel, get everything in order. I already had everything reserved. So now we just playing the waiting game. Cool. Time comes. We finally board our flight. Get all the way there at like 11:40 something. All right, it's pretty much midnight. So now I got to make it to the hotel before 12 o'clock. This is where the story turned into some straight up sucker shit. Y'all know where I'm heading with this, because a lot of brothers and sisters that I know had these same problems. Finally, we get there. Make sure we got to get the taxi, the Uber. We got to get the motherfucker to get me over there, because I know they said that they'd hold the hotel for me for that day. But now at this point, with the sorry ass air flight attendant motherfucking losers, I don't trust no goddamn body. Cause y'all know they'll tell you something, but when you get there, they'll be like, oh no, $25 extra and 2 fees because you stepped in on a Wednesday, and $5 extra because you walked in on the left exit instead of the right exit. Then we're gonna add an extra $52.17 because we have a program that is feeding kids down in Mexico, 5 families, and you've been chosen to be their sponsor. Y'all know how the fuck they do. Shit they don't ever tell you when you buying your ticket. Shit they don't ever tell you when you making your first purchase. You always find this shit out when you get there, right? So I don't trust no motherfucking body at all. Motherfucker tell you, yeah, what hotel room for you? As soon as you get there, that motherfucker be like, well, you were here late. Whatever the fuck, all right? Because once again, they be feeling real motherfucking comfortable. They don't know. But foundational black Americans, we win all the time. You put them up, we'll knock them down. So we finally get there, get our bags, go through the little section. Oh, by the way, before we even get to the section, we walk out the airport into the little pick up your baggage thing, and I'm not walking out until I understand where I'm going, because I'm not gonna walk out and then the door's fucking closed and I'm stuck and I can't get back in because I walked through the wrong door. That shit ain't happening. So Queen Alpha, she steps out to see if that's where the luggage is. I stay on the other side, right? So I just tell her to come back on in. So she tells me, hey, we got the luggage over here, you come on out. And then some guy and family, I don't know where the fuck this motherfucker was from. This motherfucker's accent was from another galaxy. You know how you got tethers and fleers and hoppers and skippers? This motherfucker was like, no, you can't come in. No, what are you doing? I don't know what the fuck he's saying. I guess he's trying to tell Queen Alpha she couldn't come back in. And she's like, yeah, fuck you. All right, and no, matter of fact, fuck you twice, homeboy. And he get mad, he's like upset. And then she just like turned around. You know, foundational black American women, they don't play no motherfucking games. Y'all know all these like men, these foreign men from these other countries, how they talk to their women? How they'll sit there and say, you sit down, Claudette. And Claudette will just shut the fuck up. Or, you sit down, Mrs. Muhammad. And Mrs. Muhammad to do that, y'all know goddamn well that shit don't fly with a foundational black American woman. I always say, certified foundational black American women and all these motherfucking foreign men that talk reckless as hell to their women and dictate to them and put hijabis on them and tell them they can't walk here and you can't say hi and you better cover up your face. Y'all know goddamn well that ain't going with no certified foundational black American woman. Ain't a foundational black American woman I know that's gonna tolerate any of that shit from these foreign men that think they gonna talk down. You fuck around, you gonna get your feelings hurt trying one of our sisters. So any goddamn way, this motherfucker, he's from somewhere, his accent sound like he's from the fucking Swiss Alps or some shit. Like he got off the plane from fucking Jupiter. I don't know where the fuck. So he's telling Queen Alpha, he's like, you can't come in, you can't come in. She's like, man, fuck you. Straight to your face, fuck you, homeboy. And then he's mad now. He's looking at me. He's like, I told her. He come to me. Hey, she hurt his feelings so bad. This motherfucker come to me now. He's like, why is she talking to me like this? And I was like, man, fuck you too. And I ain't lying. He was mad as shit. He was looking at me like, how come I can't talk to your women like I talk to my women? I'm gonna say it like this. Foundational black American sisters ain't getting talked to like them foreign women from them foreign ass countries. If you think you gonna talk to one of our sisters talking that dominator dictator bullshit, you gonna get your foreign ass G-checked. FBA certified sister G-checked. And Queen Alpha had him all in his foreign feelings. Big mad, big upset, hurt. So he got 5 fuck yous in 2 minutes. So we was tracking. We was right on time. Once again, you put him up, FBA will knock that shit down. We went all day long. And I heard so many stories of brothers and sisters saying they had the same issues with them damn Uber drivers down in Dallas. Dallas, what's good with the Uber drivers? I called in and spoke to brother Tariq. He said the same thing happened to him. So y'all know what time it is, man, and we ain't on them games. So anyway, we get our motherfucking bags, cool. Now, here's where it goes. We waiting outside for the goddamn Uber guy. God damn it. Now, mind you, I got to get back to the hotel before they try to pull some fast shit on me, all right? So I'm like, we got to go. So this motherfucker pulled up. First off, I already knew where he was from because I could smell Jollof about a mile up the goddamn road, all right? So I already knew the Jollof was coming. Jollof smell was just knocking motherfuckers over. My suitcase flipped and fell on the fucking ground. I already knew. And then I seen the motherfucker's hairline. That motherfucker was doing backflips and shit. It was way down the fuck. Put it this way. He pulled up on us and his hairline was still on the fucking highway. That's how far back that shit was. Fleedman, forehead, the whole goddamn 9. So I'm like, hey, bro, I got to get to this hotel. He's like, oh, yeah, okay, cool. They'll take you there. I'm like, all right, cool, gotcha. Let's go, motherfucker. Come on, Mr. Fufu. Hit the goddamn gas. I got a rope. Then we put our shit in there. We get to go. I mean, the Jollof just kicking all through the goddamn car. I'm like, all right, I can tolerate the Jollof for about 20 minutes. Let's go. This motherfucker pulls up. Family. Do you know this motherfucker pulled up on the highway and acted like his phone wasn't working? Y'all know when you hit the little button and your phone goes black? And he's trying to hit the buttons like, I don't, what is happening here? I can't get my phone to work. Yes, this motherfucker stopped the car on the highway, purposely made his phone go black, and started acting like he did not know where to go and his GPS wasn't working. I said, Mr. Fufu, Jollof, Fleedman, Forehead, if you don't knock that monkey shit off, we gonna have problems. So I pulled my phone out and I went to my GPS and I said, hit the goddamn gas and go that way. So we start driving, and he's going around. Then he starts saying, I can't hear what you're saying. I said, motherfucker, bust a right, pull up, and then hit another left. And then out of nowhere, he says, oh, I know where I'm going. And then the motherfucker just started driving like he knew what it was. See, what he was gonna do, and y'all know what I'm talking about, because all the FBA brothers and sisters I know that went down there had the same goddamn problem with these Uber drivers. They was on some tether ass shit. They acted like they didn't know what the fuck was going on. And as soon as you checked them, lo and behold, they knew where it was. They knew where to go. His phone started working again, right? As soon as you start checking this motherfucker, he pulled his phone out, the motherfucker lit right back up. It was functioning properly and everything. But if I didn't say nothing, he wasn't gonna say nothing. And he was gonna sit his dusty ass on that corner and act like he didn't know what the fuck he was doing. Hell to the no. This is what we be talking about when these motherfuckers come over here. When we hit these motherfuckers with Uber Eats and DoorDash jokes, motherfuckers say, that's offensive. You're being divisive. Nah, motherfucker, we being real. We being real. So we get to the motherfucking hotel, and as soon as we pull up, he says, well, it's $75 plus some extra money for some fees because on the corner I couldn't stop. And yes, this motherfucker tried to charge us extra money for fees. Not only did this motherfucker stop the car, act like his phone wasn't working, made the motherfucking phone go dark mode, then he tried to act like he didn't know where he was going, then I had to smell Jollof for 2 minutes straight, then he still tried to hit us with a quick one and get a couple extra dollars for some fees. And once again, Queen Alpha, she said, fuck you, fuck your fees, fuck your fleas, you fleed men, we out this bitch. And then we was gone. So yes, that is an extra $300 to rebook the flight. That is $75 from the airport to the hotel, not to mention an extra $50 for deposit at the goddamn hotel. But all of that just to get to the FBA family. That is my story. So let me rewind it. We had a fake ass color purple / Real Housewives of Atlanta flight lady in Orlando who looks like she needs some fucking Rogaine for her bald ass head. Then we had some Swiss Alps accent twisted ass tether fleer dude didn't know what the fuck he was saying. And Queen Alpha cussed his ass out soon as we landed in Dallas. Then we had Mr. Fufu who smelled like Jolol 3 miles away. His hairline looks like it was doing the fucking electric slide all the way the fuck back. Acted like he didn't know where he was going. Acted like his phone was broke and thought he was gonna get a couple extra foundational black American dollars out of me. That Queen Alpha cussed his ass out again. All of that just to get to the certified foundational black American family. But if you ask me would I do it all again, I would do it all the same and wouldn't change a goddamn thing, because FBA always wins. They line them up and we knock them down.
Tonight, a South Carolina convenience store left vandalized by angry protesters. The outrage over the death of a 14-year-old boy shot in the back and killed by the store's owner. Law enforcement officials say 58-year-old Rick Chow wrongly believed Cyrus Belton was shoplifting 4 bottles of water.
He did not shoplift anything. We have no evidence that he stole anything whatsoever. There was a verbal confrontation inside the convenience store. The victim went outside. He took off running.
Chow was arrested and charged with murdering the 8th grader after investigators say Chow chased him for several blocks before shooting him. Chow, who appeared in court for a bond hearing Tuesday, initially telling investigators he believed the teen was also armed. The sheriff confirming a gun was recovered near Belton's body.
He just said, we chased him. My son said he had a gun. I took aim and I shot him. I mean, it was pretty simple by him explanation. But he never said the gun was pointed at him or his son. He never said that he was in danger. Never felt like his son's life was in danger. And that's the standards you have to have in order to use deadly force.
Okay, family, we about to go to work. Lock in right now. If you ain't subscribed to the Black Alpha Network, make sure you do and share this video right now because it's showtime. That right there is another example of what we always talk about with this anti-black race war, an anti-foundational black American race war. And the reason why we have to refer to it as an anti-foundational black American race war, because nobody comes out here to assist us, to help us, or to benefit us. Everybody flies they dusty asses here and they contribute to the dominant society. But trust and believe when I tell you, all of these Crayola supremacists, they come in all these different colors. And this situation right here with our young brother, Cyrus Belton, salute to you, young king. We're going to continue to hold you down, as well as every other brother or sister who has been victim of this anti-foundational black American race war, in particular by these Crayola supremacists. Yes, Crayola supremacists, who are your people who fly here from every motherfucking country across the goddamn planet, and they practice anti-foundational black American hatred so they can score some type of brownie points and they can snuggle up next to the dominant society. It's the same thing that we've been exposing and highlighting for years. Nobody wanted to listen. Everybody wanted to close their motherfucking ears and want to stick their head in the sand. Well, now we're gonna wake their ass the fuck up, because this is a new time and a new era with foundational black Americans where we're not falling for the myths, the misnomers, and the straight up bullshit ass lies. We calling things out as soon as we see them. And one of the main things that you see is that minorities are anti-foundational black American, people of color are anti-foundational black American, immigrants are anti-foundational black American, refugees are anti-foundational black American, migrants are anti-foundational black Americans. The whole goddamn Crayola box is anti-foundational black American until further notice. That part. And we gonna continue to regulate, so I need all my race regulators to mount the fuck up, because we gonna tell it how it is. That's what we specialize in. We understand that the system of supremacy is a global system. Therefore, you have a whole globe that practices their version of supremacy, their version of anti-black racism, and their version of how can we score some points from the dominant society. I don't give a damn what side of the hemisphere you belong to, what country you live in, what continent you live in, what accent you got, what language you speak, what religion you pray to. The whole goddamn world is anti-black until further notice. And what you're seeing now is what we've been calling out for the longest, and that's these Crayola supremacists. Yes, I said it. Yes, let me say it one more time. These Crayola supremacists that come in all different colors. I don't give a damn what color it is. When they come here, they practice anti-foundational black American hatred on us so they can score some points with the dominant society, so they can be the model minority. Yes, that same bullshit that they told us years ago about how everybody's our friends and they all want to come over here and stand next to us because they don't like supremacy either. Bullshit. They all love supremacy and they all want to be partners with supremacy. Don't I always say that immigration is about proximity? Ain't that what I'm always saying right here on the Black Alpha Network? You cannot separate affection for the dominant society away from immigration. These people are not leaving their homelands, leaving all their traditions and cultures behind. In some cases, swimming through rivers, hopping fences to get to America just to be here. No, they're coming here because they see that global system of supremacy and they want to get in on it. And what's the first thing somebody does when they want to get in on supremacy? What's the first thing someone does when they want brownie points from supremacy? What's the first thing somebody does when they want a pat on the back from supremacy? They come here and they practice anti-foundational Black American racism. They already have anti-blackness in their homelands. But when they get here and they confronted with Black people who are proud, when they come here and they're confronted with Black people who stand the fuck up, when they're confronted with Black people who fight the fuck back, they look at the dominant society and they say in whatever twisted, raggedy ass accent they have, I'll be racist towards Black people as long as you give me some credit and you tell me I'm your friend. That's all it's about. It's all about coming over here and being a partner with the dominant society. And it ain't just butter biscuits. See, we're so used to butter biscuits being handed out to all the homegrown coons. They're also out here handing out tacos, burritos, soy sauce, noodles, goat milk, whatever the fuck they can to reward the Crayola supremacists for them coming down on Black Americans. That's the deal. All that melting pot shit that we heard, all that America's gonna be all brown in a couple years from now, that shit ain't never served us. Because everybody who's coming over here to this melting pot is bringing some anti-foundational Black Americanisms with them when they get here. And if you look at this Rick Child situation, that's exactly what happened. This is somebody who already had pre-existing anti-foundational Black American hatred that he put in his fucking luggage and he brought here from his homeland. And when he got here, the dominant society was glad to work with him and shake his hand. There's no coincidence that these people who always harm our children, and what do they always have, family? What do they always have? They have their own stores. So when they come over here, how do you think they get their own stores? Oh, we connecting the motherfucking dots right now. How do you think they got their own stores? How do you think they're always getting subsidized and they're getting enclaves and they're getting money and they're getting resources and benefits and tangibles? Why do you think they're getting all that? You think they're getting all that for free? You think they're getting all that because the W's loves them? Or do you think that is the trinket that I was just talking about for them being rewarded in assisting supremacy and the erasure and the hatred towards us? The only reason you see these people with their stores, with the loans that they receive, with all the resources that they're given, is because that is the silent deal. You come over here and you practice anti-foundational Black Americanisms. You come over here, bring over your Crayola supremacists. You work for us and you might get your little gas station. You might get your little corner store. And guess what you can do at your corner store? You can do the same thing that us supremacists do. You can harm Black folks with impunity. How about that? Does that sound good to you, Mr. Chow? Does that sound good to you, Mr. Lang? Does that sound good to you, Mr. Muhammad? You want a nail shop? Hey, here you go. You want a 7-Eleven? Oh, here you go. How about a loan? There you are. But I tell you what you better do. You better come over here and practice some anti-foundational Black American hatred. But guess what, family? That's easy to do because if you study global supremacy, then you understand that these folks aren't coming over here and learning supremacy. They're coming over here and they're upgrading supremacy. Yes, because in their homelands, they already practice supremacy. Yes, they do. The world is filled with supremacy that comes from the dominant society and then supremacy that comes from the Crayola box that wants to be like the dominant society. So they don't have to look far when they want to find somebody to come over here and hate us. They don't have to look far when they want to find somebody to come over here to try to erase us. They don't have to look far if they want somebody to harm our kids and shoot them in the back at a corner store. They don't have to look far for that because these people would do the same exact thing in their homeland. The only difference is now is that they get flued out from their homeland to come practice that shit in our homeland. Damn right, that's all they doing. They looking around the globe and finding anybody who is an anti-Black racist and they asses is getting flued out right here to America. First class, front of the line, all types of shit. They getting champagne thrown at them, getting accommodated very well. If you are anti-Black from China, you getting flued out. right here to America. If you are anti-black from Puerto Rico, you getting flued out right here to America. India, anywhere in the Middle East, Europe, Africa, if you are an anti-black racist and you do not like foundational black Americans, they are putting your ass on a first class seat and you getting flued out to America so you can come over here and be an honorary member of the dominant society. You know how they say model minority? Another word for that is supremacist mascot. All right, supremacist mascot equals model minority. It's a deal. It's a backdoor, back avenue, underhanded deal where they say we're going to work together to be anti-black towards foundational black Americans, and we will get your ass on the first thing smoking over here. And when you get here, all those trinkets that we just mentioned will be yours. That is the deal. And the only people calling this shit out are the certified foundational black American grassroots. Yes, indeed. Why do you think these stories continuously happen and the dominant society immediately comes out and they cape for him? Did you notice with this Rick Child situation when he harmed our young king, Cyrus Belton? Did you notice that the news covered for that the same way they covered for Kyle Rittenhouse? Did you notice that? Did you notice that the news came out and they covered for that the same way they covered for that Daniel Penny guy who harmed our brother Jordan Neely up there in New York? Do you notice that the dominant society, they cape and they cover for the Crayola supremacists the same way they cover for the W supremacists? You notice that? If you want to know if everything I just said was true, all you got to do is watch the mainstream media. The mainstream media, by the lies they tell and by them capes that they throw on their fucking back, all the excuses, the alibis, and the justifications will show you whose side that the Crayola supremacists are on. And if all those trinkets and all those deals and all those tacos, burritos, and chicken chow mains that I was just referring to is solid, then I guarantee you'll see that by the way the news media covers the whole situation. Listen.
Begin tonight with the shooting death of 14-year-old Cyrus Belton. The teenager was shot and killed Sunday night after Richland County deputies say the owner of a convenience store thought he had stolen a bottle of water.
Stop. Notice already how they keep emphasizing that the owner thought the boy was shoplifting. He thought the boy stole water. He thought the boy was a criminal. They keep on emphasizing how the owner thought something bad happened. Basically what they're saying is he made a mistake. Please forgive him. That's why they keep saying it. Every single news clip that you see and you hear about this, I'm telling you, family, they're going to always overemphasize how the owner made a mistake. He thought something bad happened. Basically trying to tell us, had he not thought or made the mistake, he wouldn't have chased the boy down the block and shot him. Y'all know like I know, it ain't got shit to do with what he thought. It ain't got shit to do with a mistake. It ain't got shit to do had he just known better. He saw a black person and he activated his anti-black racism and he went in attack mode. That's the same shit George Zimmerman did. It didn't have nothing to do with Trayvon Martin was breaking into houses. It had everything to do with there's a black person and I'm gonna go get him. That's what it was about. And let me ask you this question, family, as they keep trying to emphasize what he thought or he made a mistake. Has that ever worked for black people? Tell me where that has ever worked for a black person. If somebody came to your house and you think that they broke in and then you harm him, what's going to happen? You still going to jail. Think and mistakes and we didn't mean to, that shit don't ever work for a black person, even when it's legit. What's that sister's name? Somebody please put it in the chat or the comment section. Y'all remember that sister? I want to say it was down in Florida where that guy broke into her house and she used stand your ground and she fired a shot. What happened with her? Did they say, oh, she thought he was coming in the house to hurt her? She thought that he was a criminal. She thought she was being home invaded. In reality, she was. And what they say? Fuck that, and they locked her up. She couldn't even use the think, the thought, the mistake, the I knew better. She couldn't use any of that, even though she was being attacked. And they still said straight to jail. I got another one for you. Y'all remember that cop in Minneapolis where he accidentally harmed that W lady because she came downstairs in the dark and he accidentally harmed her? Was he able to say he thought, or my bad, or mistake? Did the blue shield come out for him? Hell no. They left him out to dry. He had an expedient process, went straight to jail, and her family got one of the biggest settlements in American history. That I thought shit don't work, but in this case, they keep emphasizing how the owner thought the boy was a criminal. Basically trying to make you feel sympathetic for the culprit. That's what they always do, family. They know how to make the victim look like the criminal and how to make the criminal look like the victim. They run that shit time and time again. That news story right there led with them saying it. And I watched 10 other news stories when I was putting together this episode, and every single news clip they overemphasized at least 20 times how the owner thought that the boy was shoplifting. Now let me ask this, family, and this is what we all saying. What the fuck does shoplifting have to do with you chasing somebody down the street? If you chase somebody down the street, it ain't got nothing to do with shoplifting no more. Shoplifting is at the shop. You are down the street with a weapon pointing and shooting at somebody. That ain't got a motherfucking thing to do with shoplifting no more. So let's ask the question. Better yet, let's tell it how the fuck it is. Don't tell me about no I thoughts or I thinks or something could have happened and I don't know. They always play real fucking ignorant after a black person is harmed. Y'all notice that? They'll have all these motherfucking answers. Black folks need to work harder. Pick yourself up by bootstraps. I came here from a poor country and I made it happen. But all of a sudden, after a black person gets harmed, I didn't know. I thought that he had something in his hand. They always run that I thought shit. Y'all remember when Amber Geiger thought the black guy was breaking into her house? Y'all remember when George Zimmerman thought Trayvon Martin was breaking into houses in the neighborhood? Y'all remember when Philando Castile got harmed because they thought he was reaching for a weapon, even though he told the guy that he had one in his glove department? That man told him what he was doing, and the motherfucking criminal still thought some shit happened. Y'all remember when Peter Liang harmed Akai Gurley because he thought he had something? Or they thought Sean Bell was reaching for something, he had his wallet? It's always I thought. We don't let them run with that I thought shit. That's all they do. They run around and they harm black people and they say, well, I thought. It was a mistake. Because remember, I thought means mistake. Mistake means he's not racist. He's not racist means black folks calm down. It's always a chain reaction and it's always the domino effect of a bunch of fucking excuses, alibis and justifications to always make the criminal look like the victim and the victim look like the criminal. The dominant society and all their Crayola supremacist mascot minions run the same game over and over, and they can't stand that the black grassroots don't go for none of that shit. You didn't think nothing but anti-black racism. You didn't think nothing but I wish I was a fucking supremacist. You didn't think nothing but can I get some brownie points by coming down on this black person? Every time they harm a black person, it's basically saying, look, dominant society, I did my jobs. Are you going to give me something in return? I could use a new corner store. I could use a new nail shop. I could use a new loan. I did what y'all do. You told me if I came over here and I started harming black folks at these corner stores or beating up their women in nail salons, then you would give me something. I did it. Here's my handout. Can I get some new gas station? I take new resources if you want to hand them to me. It's the same shit. They will I thought I made a mistake you forever as long as you let them. But family, I ain't done yet. So as we speak about the dominant society caping for them, doesn't this sound exactly the same type of shit they do with the Kyle Rittenhouses of the world, with the Daniel Pennies of the world, with the Darren Wilsons of the world, with the George Zimmermans of the world? Listen to this same story after they emphasize how he was just a poor owner who thought something happened and he just made a mistake. He wouldn't have did it had he known better, that he wouldn't have did it if he known better shit. Listen to how they pivot away from the actual racist criminal to start talking about black folks vandalizing. The same dominant society mainstream media caping for their Crayola supremacist mascots. Listen.
Stolen a bottle of water.
Last night, that convenience store was vandalized as protesters called for justice.
They're flip-flopping.
Richland Sheriff Leon Lott condemned the looting and vandalism, saying his department now has to use resources to guard the store when they should be out doing other things.
Look at that, family. Now they ain't even talking about the goddamn criminal. We're talking about a murder case. And somehow the people on the news are talking about, look at them black folks out there vandalizing now. Y'all know damn well that's the first thing they do. There go the black folks tearing up their own community. Let's not talk about the supremacists, the system of supremacy, the thousands and hundreds and millions of black folks who are being harmed every minute, second, and hour. Let's not talk about that. Let's talk about them black folks tearing up shit. That's what they doing, and this is exactly what they do right here, a complete pivot. Matter of fact, this is 13 seconds into the news story, and they were already talking about the vandalism. They weren't talking about the culprit, they weren't talking about the victim, they weren't talking about the crime, they were talking about black folks tearing shit up, just the same way they did in Hurricane Katrina. Y'all remember Hurricane Katrina? During Hurricane Katrina, you had black folks starving in the Superdome and getting popped at by vigilantes, and they was talking about, look at them looting them TVs and them VCRs and DVD players. Come the fuck on. I'm telling you, they know exactly what the fuck to do. So watch this pivot again, how they start talking about vandalism.
Last night, that convenience store was vandalized as protesters called for justice.
13 seconds in.
Richland Sheriff Leon Lott condemned the looting and vandalism, saying his department now has to use resources to guard the store when they should be out doing other things.
This case is about a 14-year-old boy who was shot and killed. It's also about the person that was arrested who's being held responsible for it and held accountable for it.
If that's what it's about, then how the fuck come the news is talking about vandalism instead of the criminal? Proceed.
That's what our job is. Our job is not now to guard this store, and that's what we have to do.
His job is not to guard the store. What the fuck that got to do with the racist Crayola supremacist that was running amok and harming people? And we're gonna get to his criminal track record. Because if you look at his criminal track record, then maybe you should have been guarding the store. But not from vandals. You should have been guarding the store from that criminal who's a menace to society who was running that goddamn store. That's what the fuck you should be doing.
Our Sam Perez is joining us from outside the Richland Sheriff's Department, where Sheriff Lott talked about the case a short time ago.
It comes a few hours after 58-year-old Rick Chow appeared before a judge at the Richland County Jail. Sam, what did
Now they finally say his name.
And what happened with Chow in court?
Yes, Darcy Jr. As you said, Sheriff Leon Lott addressed what has happened in a press conference, and he said that law enforcement will arrest anyone who was a part of the vandalism at the Shell station on Park Lane Road.
Stop! Wait a minute. Did y'all just hear that? They send it over to a correspondent on the scene, and the first thing she says is not about the criminal, not about the culprit, not about the crime. She said the cops are going to arrest all the people who are vandalizing. So is this even about the subject? Is this even about Rick Chow? Is this even about the crime that took place? Or is this about what's wrong with black people? It's the same exact thing I always say. If you watch the mainstream media and the way they cape for all the Crayola supremacists, then you see exactly what we in the black grassroots are always talking about. They work together. And if you want to know if they work together, then you can watch this new segment right here and see the same way they cape for the dominant society is the same way they cape for the motherfuckers who want to be a part of the dominant society. The same way they cape for the W supremacists is the same way they cape for the Crayola supremacists. It's all the same. So you see who's shaking hands, you see who's trying to get booed up. That's all it is. The W supremacists are booed up with the Crayola supremacists. You see a nice little partnership right there, and it's all about coming down on black people. And then when you sit back and you watch, they run the same game again. They'll bring in all these coons and people talking about forgives and we need to understand. Now notice, anytime they can pin something on a black person, oh, it ain't ever about emotion. Oh, hell no. They'll say it's the letter of the law. It ain't about emotion. We got to stick to the rules. You can't break the rules. That's what they do. Look at Ja Morant. They came at Ja Morant harder than they're coming at Rick Chow. Look at Kyrie Irving. They coming at Kyrie Irving harder than they come at Rick Chow. What's sweetheart's name from LSU who did the "You Can't See Me" sign in front of the little W girl? Remember that in the basketball, college basketball for the women? What happened then? They came at her. They was calling her a thug, Ja Morant a thug, Kyrie Irving a thug, our sister Sha'Carri Richardson, the track and field runner. They was calling her a thug. They come at our black athletes more for doing nothing than they come at these supremacist criminals. Once again, and look at the news anchors. Anytime they talk about our stories, y'all notice they put on these little sad faces because they're trying to get the emotion from us. They're trying to persuade us. Be emotional just like the news anchor is. Anytime something happens to one of us, you'll see the news anchors will already start off, ladies and gentlemen, this somber day in a very emotional, they'll always say emotion. You will never hear the term emotional. You will never hear the term forgiveness until a black person gets harmed. You can sit back and watch the news for 365 days and it's not until a black person gets harmed do you see news anchors overemphasize the term forgiveness and overemphasize the term emotional. The same way that they always overemphasize thoughts or he made a mistake whenever they're trying to cape for the criminal, that's the same way they overemphasize emotion and forgiveness when they're trying to get us to follow suit. They want us to take the lead from them. The anchor's sad, you should be sad. The anchor's upset, you should be upset. This is an emotional situation, very somber. That's how they talk. But yet, whenever it's a black person that they can pin something on, oh, they be mad. They'll talk forgiveness in. Y'all heard anybody talk forgiveness with Kyrie Irving? Did anybody talk forgiveness with Kyrie Irving? Did anybody talk forgiveness with Ja Morant? Ja Morant didn't even break the law and they suspended him. Kyrie Irving didn't even break the law and they suspended him. They was trying to take these dudes and send them to jail for nothing. But when it comes to us, oh, it's forgiveness and be nice and be sweet. And then they start pulling out all the forgiveness and all the local activists. And that's another term we're going to have to go ahead and cancel. We're going to have to stop with these local activists because it be motherfuckers you ain't never seen before in your life. And they'll show up and they'll be talking that same, can't we all get along and can't we all forgive? They'll be like, local activist Marquise Jackson From the 3rd Fifth Baptist Church on Martin Luther King Boulevard and on Edmund Pettis Drive, down the street from Church's Chicken and across the neighborhood from Popeyes, he says it's not about W's, it's about all of us getting alongs together. And then they'll bring on local activist Shaquita Jones from ilovesbeingaswirler.com /ilovesws.com /iwishIwasAKaren.com /I-needs-to-find-me-a-zaddy.com, and she'll say it ain't about supremacy, it's about black men's are the devils. Fuck out of here with these local activists. A bunch of motherfuckers you ain't never seen in your life. You ask them about reparations and they'll be like, reparations? What's that now? Hold on, that may make people upset. What does that mean now? They're not on the forefront of any black grassroots subject. Anything that we're pushing on the black grassroots, these local activists never seem to know shit about it. That's how Black Lives Matter got big. Because what they say with Black Lives Matter, local Black Lives Matter activists, and it'd be a motherfucker you ain't never saw. You ain't never seen them. They ain't present on the internet. They ain't present in real life. They ain't present in reality. All these motherfuckers are the people that the dominant society finds, and they put the camera in front of them, give them a microphone, and then they act like they're real. They're what we call black grassroots imposters. And you see that every single time a black person is harmed, they say local activists, give them the camera, and then they shift the energy. That's how Breonna Taylor, George Floyd, and Ahmaud Arbery, and Rashard Brooks, all of their movements got hijacked because of these fake ass, buster ass local activists would shift the energy. And you're already seeing that right now with our brother Cyrus Belton and his situation. You're seeing a bunch of local activists. They had some big ass, and I mean big. This lady looked like fucking Kawhi Leonard from the LA Clippers. And she was on there talking about something. We got to stop acting out of emotions. And I had a previous relationship with the owner and I forgives. Listen to this big ass Optimus Prime talking. Listen, y'all.
By the gas station, however, is speaking up. Leroy Hall lives nearby and says she went to the gas station often.
Sometimes we have to learn how to step back and step away and really process what it is that we feel so that we can respond in a healthier way. Because even though this right here, we got to live with this, you know? This is not something that's going to be taken lightly. I feel bad for both parties involved because, like I said, I do have a relationship with the owner.
What the fuck?
Also, feeling for my people, my black and brown people that are constantly going through.
Whoa, hold on. You heard it. There it go. Black and brown. That's what we speaking about, family. They wouldn't have gave her the camera if she wasn't talking some black and brown shit. That's what we mean when we say they pull out these fake ass local activists who basically are either paid Democratic shills or supremacist sympathizers. They're supremacist simps. That's what the fuck you get every time you see one of these people. Have you ever seen a local activist talk about tangibles? Talk about justice, talk about resources, talk about reparations? Or do they talk about black and brown, people of color, all lives matter? Name me one goddamn time you've ever seen the cameras focus on one of these local activists where they talked about black people exclusively. Name me one goddamn time. There ain't none. They always slide in every single other group except for us. And they put us in the back of the fucking line. But when it comes to the injustices, we're in the front of the fucking line. And all those other groups fade the fuck back. This big ass Dodge Caravan is out here talking about black and brown. Let me tell you something. The brown Crayola supremacist is on the same page as the Rick Child Crayola supremacist. And that is anti-black racism. So miss me with the we all go through this and we all got to deal with it. Ain't no black and brown. It's only foundational black Americans against the world, and anybody who tells you otherwise is a goddamn liar.
These different types of situations. So, it's just heartbreaking for everybody around the board. And, I'm definitely praying for everybody.
Well, there goes prayer. You knew it was coming. It's like clockwork. All you got to do is sit back and wait, and you're going to see the same exact terminology every single time something happens to a black person. They're going to read off that same bullshit ass script, that supremacist simp script that they all speak on. You ain't going to see a black person on TV in one of these situations unless they're uttering the words prayer, emotions, forgiveness. Can't we all just get along? Black and brown. This affects us all in the community. If they ain't saying that shit, then you ain't gonna see them on TV. You ain't never gonna see no real one. You ain't never gonna see somebody talking about power tools. You ain't ever gonna see somebody on there talking about real justice. You ain't ever gonna see somebody on there talking about self-defense. Have you ever seen self-defense ever get spoken of when a black person is harmed? Or do you hear forgiveness, emotion, and all lives matter? Now, if this happened to any other group, first thing you're gonna hear about is self-defense, the right to defend thyself. They're gonna be talking about all these different types where somebody can take matters into their own hands. When it comes to black folks, you hear that same bullshit, and they get this big ass minivan, school bus person to get on here and talk about black and brown and how she's got a relationship with the owner. It's all about emotion. Didn't I say that they're always trying to make it look like it's an emotional thing? They're always trying to make it look like it's either a mistake or something's wrong with the person, and they're trying to exchange roles and make the criminal look like the victim and the victim look like a criminal. Yes, they do. And they start throwing out them community leaders and them local activists and running this bullshit.
In Cyrus's murder, community leaders say that it is now about healing and looking out for loved ones.
And Father God, we know that there are so many emotions that are going on right now.
Listen to this shit, family.
A prayer for peace and change. That was the message coming from community members.
A prayer for peace and change to who? Why you telling all the black folks we need to change? Go down and tell that to the criminal. Y'all notice that? They come to us and say we need peace and change as if we're the ones who did the crime. No, you need to go talk to the Crayola supremacists, the W supremacists, and all the anti-black racists and go tell them about change. What sense does it make to go to the victims of supremacy and tell them how they need change? Shouldn't you go talk to the actual supremacist? Man, these defeated ass Negroes, I can't stand a weak, defeated, broke down, beta ass person. They serve no use to the movement and need to sit their ass down because they ain't built for this work. More soft talk.
And I pray, Father God, that you begin the process of healing.
It was organized by Reese and Melissa Palmer. They run a Christian-based counseling service.
Oh, gosh.
The vigil is to provide emotional healing and give love to the community.
So something like this is a huge trigger, to learn that someone's been shot and killed in this tragic way. It's definitely going to bring up some things from one's past. So if you can come to a safe space and talk through your issues, talk through your problems, and actually trust the person you're talking to, that's what we want people to know. That's the type of counseling that we offer.
What? What the fuck does counseling have to do with this? Family, this lady just said she's there to offer counseling. What the fuck does counseling have to do with being a victim of supremacy? This ain't marriage counseling. This isn't Alcoholics Anonymous. This is being a victim of anti-black racism. They don't know what the fuck they talking about. Would they just leave? Would they just get the fuck out the way? That's all they do is serve as a distraction. They just sat there and said forgiveness, healing, and counseling. But ain't nobody said supremacy, racism, or victim. Not built for this work, need to take their ass that way the fuck out of Dodge. And y'all notice the way they talk about these cases? They don't never mention supremacy. They don't never mention racism. They just make it look like it's a one-off. It just happens every so often. All they do is let the culprits off the hook. They don't never speak about it. All these community activists, these local leaders, they don't never say nothing about the system of supremacy. All they do is come out and say emotion, forgiveness, and healing. Healing, emotion, forgiveness, and they don't take it any further than that. Either this is all by design, or it's one big fucking coincidence that every time a black person has been harmed for the last 50 years, they run the same gambit on us. Either it's a coincidence, or these motherfuckers is playing out the same playbook. I'm not done yet. Family, do you know in that same news segment, 2 seconds after that big ass airliner woman was talking, the W News anchor lady got on there and she started talking about balloons and teddy bears? I'm not lying, fam. I'm not lying. I'm not lying to you. I said that these news anchors always try to speak out of emotion, and they're always trying to persuade us to view this in some type of emotional light.
A memorial has started near the gas station with balloons and stuffed animals. 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 The station is currently taped off with water bottles littering the ground and graffiti covering the buildings.
Yes, family, I told y'all I was not lying. This woman just said balloons and stuffed animals. In the middle of a race war, we're talking about balloons and stuffed animals. Let me quote our sister queen master teacher Frances Cress Welsing, and she said there's a time for singing, there's a time for dancing, but it ain't in the middle of a war. And these folks is out here talking about balloons and stuffed animals like we had a goddamn slumber party. And you know the dominant society eats that shit up because they're already trying to calm us down. They're already trying to strip away our warrior class, and they're already trying to emotionalize our struggle. And notice too, that lady said balloons, she said stuffed animals, but you notice she threw in that graffiti part too, right? Graffiti meaning vandalism. I told you they was gonna slide that vandalism part again. They just had to hit you with the misdirection. I always said misdirection, miseducation, and misinformation, and you have all of that right there, including balloons and stuffed animals. Fuck out of here. How about power tools? Then you got our attention. But y'all know it's always a difference. Whenever it's us, it's that sweet, nice, emotional shit. You know when something happens to them, they on TV saying, we pissed off, what we gonna do about it? We want answers now. Look at the Ukraine situation. They ain't on there talking about Russia in some type of emotional way, saying, oh, it's so sad what Russia's doing right now. Oh, it's just so messed up what they're doing to everyone. They on there talking about war, they talking about crimes, they talking about punishment. You notice that? With everybody else, it's about punishment. It is about coming down on them. That's the same type of energy they got for athletes who don't even break the law. When it's Ja Morant, they talking about punishment. When it's Kyrie Irving, they talking about punishment. When they talking about Vladimir Putin, it's about punishment. We taking him to the criminal courts. He's gonna pay for the atrocities that he's committed against us. When it comes to a black person being harmed, then it's, ladies and gentlemen, on this sad and tragic day, we are all here gathered as human beings on the planet Earth, wondering how such a senseless act, a senseless crime, a senseless situation can occur. That's another one. Let me not forget it. Senseless. That's another term they always throw around. Senseless and he thought are always their two main go-to excuses. See, when you say something is senseless, it makes it look like they didn't know what they were doing. They just didn't really understand. No. Supremacy is not senseless at all. Supremacy is well thought out, well focused, and well scripted. They know exactly what they're doing to the T. Very, very deliberate. There's nothing more deliberate than the system of supremacy because it is a culture. So ain't nobody coming around here talking about senseless. And that's what they try to do. They always try to hit you with this a senseless act like they can't wrap their minds around it. And it's also to let themselves off the hook. So every time a W comes out and they say, well, it's just a senseless act, that's basically saying, I don't know why he would do it. I ain't got nothing to do with it. It's not all of us. It's just a few bad apples. Every time they say the term senseless, that's just them saying, that's not a reflection of our whole culture. That's not a system. It's not systematic. No, that's just him. He had a bad day. That's why we can't understand why he would do it. It's the motherfucker sitting there saying, we don't get it. We don't know why. Motherfucker, you know exactly why. As a matter of fact, you know so well because you participate in it. Your grandma participates in it. Your grandfather participates in it. Your great-great-grandma, your great-great-grandpa, your whole goddamn family tree participates in it. Trust and believe, the system of supremacy is not a senseless act. It's a systematic act. Boy, let me say that one more time. Black Alpha Network, Certified Black Society, smash that like button now. Subscribe. The system of supremacy is not a senseless act, it is a systematic act, which means it goes on from top to bottom, from pillar to post, inside out. They are all culprits in it. It's funny how they'll act like they don't know what's going on and they can't figure it out, but yet all these excuses are elaborate as fuck. The very fact that you telling me some type of elaborate ass excuse lets me know it ain't so goddamn senseless now, is it? Nah, y'all got that shit well played. You got a nice little fucking playbook that your grandpappy gave to you, and you practicing your day's version of what he was practicing back in his fucking day. Try again, motherfucker. But since this is the Black Alpha Network, the one and only, you know we got some receipts. Didn't I just sit here and talk about how they'll throw around the term senseless and tragic and emotion, and they're always trying to persuade us to get in some type of emotional state? Remember, they always have to emotionalize things that happen to us. Now, when it comes to them, oh, it's straight punishment, anger, we going to get what's ours, right? But whenever it comes to us, the news anchors, the police officers, the press conferences, all the community activists, they're always trying to emotionalize us. In other words, they're trying to calm us down. They're trying to take that warrior spirit out of you. The easiest way to get someone to not fight is to try to emotionalize what they're dealing with. So they try to stop our warrior class from turning the fuck up by coming on TV and talking about how things are senseless and sad and tragic. Did I not just say they'll throw around the term senseless? Did we just say that? Well, here's another Black Alpha receipt. Listen to the sheriff come out, and within 2 seconds, he done already threw around senseless, tragic, emotion, and his whole voice is just filled with, let's calm these black folks down, because we don't want the warrior class turning up. So let's try to emotionalize this and talk about how senseless it is, and we just don't get it. Listen.
The coroner and I stand here today and talk about a very tragic incident that we had last night where a 14-year-old lost his life. It's senseless.
Senseless, told you.
It doesn't make sense.
Doesn't make sense, told you.
Family that's grieving. We have a community that's grieving.
Community grieving.
14-year-old. Hold
on, stop. I'm sorry. Hold up. I'm sorry. When you call shit out and then they do exactly what the fuck you said and you slam that receipt on the goddamn table right there, you do nothing but pop your own fucking collar because we see this shit from a mile away. What I say? FBA see your ass from a mile away. So we're going to run all that down. We're going to call all that shit the fuck out and let people know you ain't going to run us through the same gambit that you ran us in 2001, 2002, 3, 4, 5, 6, all the way to right now. We on top of everything. That's one thing about this certified black grassroots era. We calling everything out. We not waiting. We ain't giving nobody the benefit of the doubt. We ain't accepting no supremacist IOUs. They'll get back to us next week. Fuck that. These motherfuckers ain't senseless. They're predictable, and we predicting every single fucking lie before it even comes out. Run it back.
Talk about a very tragic incident that we had last night where a 14-year-old lost his life. It's senseless. It doesn't make sense. We have a family that's grieving. We have a community that's grieving over a 14-year-old who was shot.
Y'all know, when I could sit here and say that they throw around senseless, and then they say it, when we could sit here and say that they're going to throw around terms like tragic and prayer and forgiveness, black and brown, and then they say it, y'all know that we are on game and on point. And this is how we honor our brothers and sisters. This is how we hold each other down one by one. The reason why we are where we are today and why we're heading where we're heading, and that's to the motherfucking top, no stop and go, straight through. The reason why we're heading there is because we're not playing that game. If you notice, everything they're throwing at us is for us to play the game. They want us to play the we don't know yet game. They want us to play the black and brown, the people of color game. They don't want us sitting here talking about the Crayola supremacists. They don't want us calling out the supremacist script. They don't want us calling out the supremacist simps. They don't want none of that. They want us to sit right here and take that bullshit and run around until we all old and fucking decrepit. They don't mind trying to stall you out. Matter of fact, they love trying to stall you out. Their main goal is to stall out every fucking generation, put your ass on a racism treadmill, and have you running in fucking place. They don't mind looking at their watch, looking at a clock, and just giving us the same bullshit over and over and over. That's what the news is here to do. That's what all these fake ass political organizations, the Democrats, the Republicans, all these fake ass task force, they are only here to stall you out. Because when someone can stall you out, you're on their time. But right now, we're on our time. Motherfuckers move when we move. That's the difference between this generation and every other generation. When we say we getting reparations, we're going forward. You can put up every hurdle or blockade and we gonna knock the motherfuckers down. You can try to hit us with the we don't know yet, this is a senseless, tragic act, wait till the facts come out. We say no, we already got the motherfucking facts. Y'all remember a few years ago when they had us on their time and they was always telling us wait till the facts come out? Listen to that. Listen what I'm saying. Wait until the facts come out. Wait and until are to stall you. Those are two time referencing statements. If you wait, that means you gotta wait until they give you the green light. Until means not until they say so. Both of those terms are terms that were meant to stall us out, and black folks were losing precious time. And the most important thing that you have is time. And you ain't got a lot of it, so you got to make the best of it right now. So black folks was playing that game. They hit you with the wait until with Mike Brown, with Trayvon Martin, with Jordan Davis, with Berkia Boyd, with Sandra Bland. Black folks was waiting around, wait till the facts come out, and then we would wait until these trials and they say, not guilty. Sorry, black folks, go home, maybe next time. And they were trying to hit black folks with the stall tactics. Well, now, the black grassroots, we woke up and said, fuck your time. It's all about us. When we say go, we go. Fuck your yield sign, fuck your stop sign, fuck your red light. We gonna run through all those motherfuckers because we are on our own path. And our own path is 100 miles an hour top drop back until we get what's owed to us. And that slight change of attitude means everything. That's why we're accomplishing so much, and that's why we're not falling for none of these motherfucking lies they telling us. We not falling for none of these motherfucking games they throwing at us, and we damn sure ain't stopping for they stall tactics. They gonna have to get used to this because we ain't hitting no motherfucking U-turns. So with this whole situation right here and the whole game that they've been trying to give us, we understand that you have the dominant society, and then you have all of they little puppets and minions and mascots. And we've been G-checking every last one of them. Nobody is getting away from the G-check. You can't outrun it. You can't hide. You can't jump, skip, flee. You can't do none of that shit. When the G-check is coming to get you, the G-check is coming. And that's what we've been on, and that's what we're doing right here consistently. And they can't stop it. So we're holding down each other. And all these things do is strengthen us. So when you can call out what they're going to do and then they do it, that means you on game. When you can G-check a motherfucker when they violate, that means you on game. And the number one thing that we've been doing above all of that is that we've been certified, unified, galvanized, and they can't stop it. All of us together at one time is dangerous, and we stay dangerous. So damn dangerous that we call out all these ops. We know where they are. We know where they coming from. We know what they're going to try to throw at certified black society, and we ready for it. What I always say, fam, when they get here, we be waiting on them. We know about the racism that goes on in these people's homelands. We know how they come over here and they want to snuggle up next to the dominant society. All of that shit we know. They spent years trying to get us to believe the other side. They spent years making us think that the melting pot helps us. The melting pot serves us. No, it doesn't. Because these people don't come over here to be reinforcements for us. They come over here to be reinforcements for supremacy. Now, mind you, these immigrant groups are all fellow victims of supremacy. That's why I always say on the Black Alpha Network, not all victims of supremacy are created equal. We gonna put that on the table and we gonna let that shit be known. You're gonna have all these other groups out here. They're gonna be absolutely, positively okay with being a victim of supremacy as long as they can fit in with it. But you're gonna have certified black society and we say, fuck that. We ain't going for it. We ain't playing it. That shit ain't cool. And that's one thing about us, family. We're educated. We're very, very educated people. We're so thorough, so well-read, so well-researched, so analytical, so much observationalist that they can't fool us. See, the dominant society is all based on lies. As my brother always say, they're based on subterfuge and deception. Well, what happens when they can't fool us no more? What happens when they can't trick us? When they can't withhold things? What happens when we start exposing their asses? When we tell them what time it is? They don't know what to do. What you gonna do to black folks when you can't trick them? Because you know you can't see us eye to eye. You know you can't see us when it's equal. When we're equal, we're already past you. So what you gonna do when you can't fool us? That's why we are so educated and we're so precise that they cannot get nothing off on us. So we know about the history of these people. We know what a culture vulture looks like. We know what a manipulator looks like. We know what a Crayola supremacist looks like. We know more about these people's culture than they know. We know more about their homelands than they know. That's how they were able to fool us back in the day. Because they could say, y'all know people on the other side of earth, they love black Americans. Bullshit. Y'all know people on the other side of the world, they love black Americans. Bullshit. Y'all know people on the other side of the continent, they love black Americans. More bullshit. This is why black folks always fell for that people of color shit. We thought everybody was coming over here with open arms because they didn't know the history about the whole world. We do. So when you remove all of that and you see somebody for what they really are, and you know the history of all these people's homelands, they cannot fool you. Y'all heard of this guy named China Mac? I guess he's a rapper. I'm gonna be honest with you. I ain't heard one bar from this dude. Don't know none of his songs. Ain't never seen him on a rap song. All I know him for is interviews and being your typical culture vulture. Well, case in point, China Mac is one of these guys who runs around and he tells black folks that he gonna say the N-word. He tells black folks how down he is. He tells black folks that if they got a problem, they can see him. He's always picking fights with other brothers. That's what he's always doing. But when it comes to his people, oh, he'll get mad. He protects his culture, won't let nobody say anything about his culture, and he comes after anybody who disagrees with him. But when it comes to our culture, oh shit, typical culture vulture. He feels that what we do belongs to him. Imagine feeling so entitled that you get mad when you can't steal from somebody. That's what all of these culture vultures do. But we understand his homeland. It's that same Fat Joe shit. It's that same Cardi B shit. Where these folks come around and say, I can say the N-word because I'm from the hood. I can say the N-words because I smokes weed. I can say the N-word because I lived in the projects. You notice how every single thing that they try to tell us is a good reason why they can talk black is some lowbrow shit? It ain't never kings, queens, goddess, and gods. It's never anything thorough about being educated, about being analytical, about being well-read or well-researched. It's none of that. Nah, none of those are reasons why they feel they can say the N-word. They feel they can say the N-word because they smoke some weed with some people or they joined the gang. So basically they're telling you that's what they feel about black folks. They feel our culture is lowbrow, so if they do lowbrow shit, then that means they're down. Fuck that. So he was going around saying the N-word left and right, picking fights with black folks who were calling him out. Now, one person said something about his community, oh, he get mad. And by the way, he was on the front line of all that black folks is means to us. All that propaganda that was coming from that community, he was on the front line saying black folks just need to be nice to us. That's wrong. He'd say that shit and then walk out the room, tilt his hat to the side and say the N-word 300 times. That's the type of culture vulture. But guess what? This generation, this era, we know exactly what you look like. Can't get that shit off on us. So we know the anti-blackness that comes from his community. And mind you, anti-blackness can come with a bite and a smile or a bite and a growl. You're going to have some folks who come out here overt, some folks who going to come out here covert. The main one running around here trying to act like us, walk like us, and dress like us, he just as anti-black as a person who ain't doing that. And we understand that because we are thorough.
I'm confused, right? Because if the N-word is so culturally sensitive the way that I know it can be, why is it so accepted by mainstream popular culture? You know why? Because of people like you. People that has these platforms. People that are gatekeepers.
Look
that
at them get mad, y'all.
To transcend race into culture. And culture has nothing to do with the color of your skin.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Culture has nothing to do with the color of your skin. So, foundational black American, certified black society, our culture has nothing to do with us being black. So just everybody can do it, right? Do you see how defensive he's getting about using a slur towards us? This motherfucker acting like that term goes to him. He acts like that's coming from his community. That's what happens with your typical culture vultures. They get so mad that they cannot be racist. They get so mad that they cannot be dominators or supremacists that they'll come after you for the shit. More.
Culture has everything to do with the environment you were raised up in, the people that you're around, the things that you hear, the things that you see on a daily basis. So if you're so against that word, you should have been on it since day one. You know what I'm saying? Nobody should have been able to use that word on your watch. But
whoa, whoa, whoa. Catch that, family. Catch that, family. Notice how he said nobody should be able to use it. He ain't got a problem with using it. His problem and the reason why he's getting so mad is because we use it and he can't. That's what it's really about. See, they don't like the fact that we can do something they can't do. That's what all of this dilemma and all these arguments and disagreements about the N-word is about. They ain't got a problem using it. Shit, they use it at their house. Their mama use it. Their grandma use it. Their whole family uses it. They got a problem that we can do something that they're not allowed to. That's what all of this shit about the N-word is. They see foundational black Americans doing something they don't have access to, and that activates that Crayola supremacist within them. That's what it is. It's the same with reparations. The reparations conversation and the N-word debate is the same exact thing. Those are both two things that belong to foundational black Americans that they cannot have. And anytime you tell a supremacist they can't do something that we can do, they start to spaz the fuck out just like he is. That Crayola supremacist is showing, China Mac. It's popping all out your pores. You get mad. We see the game. That Crayola is jumping out the screen, brother. We see what you on. Listen.
Because you weren't, it seems like you're singling out an entire minority group. You know what I'm saying? Which makes me think that you're stereotyping. You know what I mean? That the assumption is that all Asians are affluent, that we don't suffer from poverty, that we don't suffer from gang violence, and all the other shit that's rampant in the hoods.
Whoa, there you go again. Poverty, gang violence, everything that goes on in the hood. Family, hey, didn't I just say that? Didn't I just say that they only associate us with lowbrow shit? I just said that. He didn't say nothing about black folks being educational, black folks being hard workers, black folks being loyal, being determined, having dedication. None of the things that created this country that he flew to. So every single thing that we did to create this country, he didn't mention none of that. Nah, he said we down because we in the hood with gang violence. Poverty. Anytime somebody tells a black person I'm down because I'm from the hood, I smoke weed too, I've been to prison as well, they're basically saying that black folks ain't shit. That's exactly what he's just saying right there. And notice how he got mad about his community. See, when they talk about us, it's all that I'm gonna say what I want to say, I'm gonna do what I want to do, all of that Billy Badass talk. But as soon as someone tells his community no, then it turns into, man, you singling out a whole minority group. They kick into that minority talk. They kick into it. Now, y'all know 24/7, 365, they want to be down with the dominant society. They want to be mascots, minions, honorary, captains, puppets, pawns. They want to do all of that shit. They sign up for it. But as soon as you tell them you can't say the N-word, then all of a sudden it's minority again. Then it's people of color again. I told you, they jump from this side to that side, whatever benefits them, and that's what's got his ass having a temper tantrum. He's having a Crayola supremacist temper tantrum because someone told him he cannot say the N-word.
I don't know when was the last time you was in the hood. I feel like this is how I feel. Like I said, I feel like nobody, I mean, if you know, that word is deep rooted. So black people want to use that word on their own, whatever. I mean, I don't agree. I don't think that that would ever work like that. You know what I'm saying?
Notice how he did some backhanded shit, right? I just feel like he's sitting there guessing too. He can't even figure out his own shit. If black folks want to say the word on their own, then I mean, I don't agree with it. It don't work that way. You see, he still got salt all in his goddamn voice. Animosity like a motherfucker. I tell people, the best thing black folks have ever done is a 2-letter word. N-O. You want to say something, you want to go far, you want to make a point as a black person, tell a motherfucker no. You see it with reparations. Motherfuckers say, I want to get in on reparations. We're all black, brother. I'm from the homeland, the motherland. Come home. We say no. Then it's, you goddamn Akata. Motherfuckers say, I support the blacks. I'm down with the blacks. Can I come over? No. You damn ungrateful coon. They'll flip-flop all over the place. And it's all dependent when we put our foot down and tell the motherfucker what time it is. And that's what this era is. So anybody who's not used to this, I'm talking about Jethro, Billy Bob, Foo-Foo, Jollof, China Mac, Big Mac, Little Mac, all their asses. Get used to it, because foundational black Americans are telling everybody what it's gonna be. That's right. We know the difference between us and everybody else. We know that we're the only ones who stand 10 toes down. We're the only ones loyal to the soil. We're the only ones who stay true to ourselves. All these other people, they are willing pawns in the system of supremacy. They don't care about fighting back. They're willing to take it. They don't care about standing up for themselves. They're not even proud of themselves. So we understand that foundational black Americans, we are different than everybody. Ain't no minority family, ain't no people of color family, ain't no crayon box. And if there is, we ain't in that motherfucker. So this is what we do. We stand right here, chest out, head to the sky, holding it down, being different than the world because we've always been exceptional. We are the only victims of supremacy who do not rock with it. Everybody else is a victim of supremacy, and they're willingly a victim of supremacy. That's why they're able to come over here and do the dirty work. That's why they can pick up that phone and call all their Crayola supremacists. The dominant society will start wars in these people's homelands, and they'll still come over here and want to be down with the dominant society. The dominant society will drain them of all their resources in their homelands. They'll come over here to America and still want to be down with them. The dominant society will go and take out all of their leaders, erase all their history, colonize them, and politically corrupt them, and they'll still come to America and want to be down with the dominant society. That's how twisted and punctified these people are. Certified Black Society, foundational Black Americans, we don't go for that. Once again, we are the only people who have ever stood up against this system of supremacy. Everybody else wants to stand with the system of supremacy. And all that bullshit that them civil rights Negroes was trying to tell us about, by the year 2050, everybody's gonna be black people's friends. This whole world is gonna be brown, and it's gonna be all of us as one big family. Bullshit. There's only one family, and that's the FBA family tree. And on the other other side of that FBA family tree, there's a whole goddamn force of Crayola supremacists. And they come over here by the flock to practice anti-black racism. And understand that the dominant society's been flying in new recruits since the Immigration Act. What I said earlier, they out here getting flued out. They've been flying them in since the 1960s because they always need new enforcements. Trust and believe, they seen all those studies talking about how the demographics are changing. Anytime the demographics change, they give supremacy a slight makeover. They start letting people in. They start telling that group and that group, you can come on over here, we'll give you some resources, but you got to play the role of a reinforcer to supremacy. And they all put their hand up and say, pick me. There's a bunch of supremacist pick-me's out here in the world. Yes, I said it. A whole bunch of Crayola supremacist pick-me's. They all got their hand up and they're all willing, ready, and able to come on over here and be a reinforcement for the dominant society. The dominant society has been doing that since the Immigration Act of the 1960s, flying in everybody. So anytime you see somebody come to this country, they're coming over here with anti-black racism and they're coming over here with an affection for the dominant society, despite what the dominant society may have done to them in their homeland. Y'all heard me say it all the time. These people will say, we had to run to America because what America did to my homeland. So you run to the criminal to get away from the criminal? Bullshit. That lets you know what I'm always saying. It's all about proximity. You don't run to America to get away from America. You don't run to the dominant society to get away from the dominant society. All that bullshit about what America did to your homeland and you mad about it, so you come to America? Motherfucker, you come to America because you want to be next to Karen and next to Ken. That's why half of them come here and they change their name. They come over here and change their name all up. They name be Muhammad in their homeland. They come here, their name be Matthew. They name be Lang in their homeland. They come here, their name be Larry. They name be Jorge in their homeland. Come here and they're Howard. We know the game. And certified black society calls that shit all the way out. No compromise, no debate, no filters. We're the only ones out here speaking the truth and telling everybody what these people come here with and how they get here and they try to partner up with the dominant society. You see it all across the board. And we know the long history of them coming over here and practicing anti-blackness on us. Look at the George Floyd situation. Remember the George Floyd situation when Derek Chauvin put his knee on George Floyd's neck? Who was right there protecting Derek Chauvin? Who was right there providing guard for Derek Chauvin? Yes, that police officer from that other community. The same community that this Rick Chow is from. And there's plenty more. There's a hell of a lot more. Y'all remember Ryan Lee Wynn? Yeah, the 29-year-old guy who shot the little 6-year-old boy in the arm in Michigan for being in his yard. First tried to hit the little boy with a sledgehammer. Couldn't hit him because he's too goddamn slow, and then he shot him. Yes, and what happened? He got a low-ass bond when he should have got life in prison for it. Remember this?
The accused shooter shot a little boy. He walks free, making bond on Tuesday.
Walks free.
His family angry and confused.
And I'm trying to figure out how he got a bond that was so low for trying to kill my kid.
Arnold Daniel trying to figure out why Ryan Lee Wen is out of jail after allegedly shooting his son Kobe.
He tried to hit me with a sledgehammer, but that's not gonna work because I'm too fast.
So then what did he do?
Got a gun. Boom. Shot me right here.
It's all...
Listen to that, family. Listen to that. That's a 6-year-old child.
On video Saturday afternoon on Candlewood Lane, you'll see kids playing, hear a gunshot, then Kobe realizes he's hit. Lee Wen allegedly fired through his front window. The bullet went in Kobe's arm and out the other side.
Y'all heard that? First off, y'all notice how that supremacist news anchor was caping for the Crayola supremacists? Allegedly, he allegedly did it, even though we have it on camera, seen it on camera, and he admitted to it. But we already know that. More and more though, family, and these are the folks who are trying to say we were harming them? Bullshit. How many times do you see something before you know it's solid? And it's always our kids. Look how they come after our kids. Come on, family. Latasha Harlins, it was an adult. This young brother Kobe right here, it was an adult. Cyrus Belton, it was an adult. It's always they grown-ass adults coming after our children. You know you are a low-budget, bottom-feeding, low-life to come after kids. And it's always that way. And do you ever see it the other way around? Do you ever see big grown ass black men harming everybody's children? Or do you only see these people harming our kids? The answer is the same. Oh, and here's an update on that case, family. He took a plea deal. So yes, he was provided protection again by the dominant society, which only proves our point that they're all working together. So let's get this right. You can shoot a black kid for being in your yard, get a low ass bond, and then take a plea deal. Anybody else does that, they're going to jail. You got rappers who got bigger sentences than that for doing nothing. But that's that story. Got another one. Remember our brother Akai Gurley? Yes. Who harmed our brother Akai Gurley? I'll tell you who it was. It was Peter Liang. And he's from the same community as Rick Chow. And you notice when that happened, did you see anybody talking about minorities in? Did you see anybody from their community coming out and sticking up for Akai Gurley? Did they? No, they didn't say a goddamn thing. As a matter of fact, there was nationwide protests on behalf of Peter Liang, on behalf of the criminal, on behalf of the culprit. Nobody came out and was sticking up for Akai Gurley. The same community that comes around and wants to lecture us, tell us how means we are, tell us how we's all one big minority family, they came out and they were supporting Peter Liang. Look at it. You see nothing but protests saying, this wasn't a crime. We stand with Peter Liang. We stand with our own. Did nobody talk that blacks and browns, people of color, Crayola shit when our brother Akai Gurley was hurt? So you see how they'll flip-flop back and forth whenever it benefits them or whenever it assists them. They came out, their community, they came out and they stood next to the race soldier. The same way they came out and they stood next to Derek Chauvin. The same exact way they came out in 1991 and they stood next to the lady that harmed our sweet sister, Latasha Harlins. Yes, we taking it back. See, we got patterns for years. We don't just have somebody making up some bullshit propaganda for 3 months so you can get you a goddamn hate crime law. We ain't coming up with fake ass videos with a bunch of jive turkeys, I'm gonna get you sucker, throwing punches at the wind that ain't even connected. Oh yeah, we calling it out because we seen the whole thing. Y'all remember about a year ago when they was trying to make black folks the face of that community's problem? And there were all these videos that were skeptical as fuck, that were blurry, that were shaky, with the same motherfucker over and over and over again. And we're sitting back saying, that shit don't look real at all. And they were saying, look what the blacks do. The blacks did it to us. It's the blacks. Y'all remember that? Yeah, because that's what they do. There's this whole culture in America with these other groups where they get harmed by the dominant society and then they blame us. You feel me? The dominant society knocks them over. They get up and they say, the black did it. Black man won't be nowhere around. Black woman won't be nowhere around. But they blame us. This is what we're talking about. This is all a part of the Crayola supremacist agenda, okay? It's to blame black folks for what the dominant society does to them. Oh, trust and believe. Just because the dominant society brings them over here as recruits doesn't mean the dominant society treats them good. Hell no. The dominant society still comes down on them here the same way they come down on them in their homeland. Only difference is that they don't give a fuck and they blame us. See, they can't blame us in their homelands. They can't do that. But when they get to America and the dominant society harms them, they say, the black people did it. Let's make a fake ass video. Let's go on TV and say how if the blacks were nice to us, things would be better. They blame us for their problems. That is the consistent pattern with every single group who comes here. The dominant society will harm them on camera, will tell everybody what their agenda was, and they'll still blame us. Ain't that a motherfucker? You'll sit there and get harmed all day long by your own community and blame black folks. You'll sit there and get harmed all day long by the dominant society community and still blame black folks. That is the whole agenda. So we seen last year all the fucking propaganda, all the fucking ABC and NBC and CBS news stories trying to make us the face of somebody else's race problem. Get the fuck out of here. This lets you know everything that we've already been saying about how they have this Crayola agenda. So here's the kicker. This is what fucks them in the game. They come over here and they get harmed by the dominant society and then they blame us. But whenever something happens to us, they sit back and they watch. They don't ever get involved. That's why we have canceled out all of that bullshit about blacks and browns and people of colors and minorities. Hell no. Ain't no coalitions, ain't no committees, ain't no councils. It's only certifieds, okay? Certified Black Society and everybody the fuck else. And we've all known it. We all know about going in these stores and you buy, you go, and how they disrespect our children. They've been doing this shit for years. Decades have went by. So ain't nobody gonna come in here and tell us how it's some type of coalition and we some type of friends. We all know in black society, every black man and black woman listening right now knows how these people treat us when we come into their stores. They treat us like fifth-class citizens in our own country. You see the spite, the vitriol, and the hatred every single time we walk in. And it ain't just towards grown-ass black people, it's for children. They see our children as soft targets. There's no coincidence that this Cyrus Belton situation is identical to Latasha Harlins from 1991. In 1991, I was in fucking kindergarten. And we see the same type of behavior. So can't nobody come around from the NAACP, the Democratic Party, or any other fucking group and tell us that what we seeing ain't true. Every black man and woman knows how we get treated, and you've known it since a young age. I guarantee you, all of y'all have stories about being a young person, and these folks treat us like dirt in our own country and they stores. But let somebody from the dominant society come around and they roll them out the red fucking carpet. You don't see the same thing over and over again since 1991, before then and after that, unless it's exactly what we say: Crayola supremacy and anti-black racism.
In March of 1991, first there was the videotaped beating of Rodney King, and less than 2 weeks later, there was the videotaped killing of a 15-year-old black teenager named Latasha Harlins. The woman who shot her, a Korean shopkeeper named Soon Ja-do, was convicted of voluntary manslaughter but served no jail time, and that sentence, as much as the Rodney King case, tended to influence what happened more than a year later in the riots in Los Angeles where Korean shopkeepers were targeted.
This grainy security camera videotape graphically depicts the last few moments of 15-year-old Latasha Harlins' life.
Store owner Soon Ja-do thought 15-year-old Latasha Harlins was going to steal some orange juice.
She had the money in her hand. You can see the money in the videotape. And the suspect grabbed the backpack, and there became a physical altercation over the backpack. And as our victim turned to walk away from the scene, the suspect raised a weapon and shot the victim in the back of the head.
Now, family, doesn't that sound identical to what happened to Cyrus Belton 30 years after Latasha Harlins? Doesn't it? Let's go through some goddamn facts, okay? Black child, Crayola supremacist, convenience store, shot in the back because you thought they had orange juice and you thought they had water. Black child getting harmed 30 years apart by the same people from the same community, the same exact way, over orange juice and water. Let me say that one more goddamn time. Over orange juice and water. That is why it happened 30 years later. Now, either this is one big giant coincidence, one big giant accident, or everything we say in the black grassroots about these Crayola supremacists and their anti-black racism is real as the air you breathe. Oh, and did you notice in that little news clip from Latasha Harlins that I just played? They said the term, the criminal thought. Didn't we say they've been running that thought shit for a long time? I just played a clip from 1991 when they was running that same excuse of they thought. And now we playing it from 2023 and you still hearing that. They thought shit. I told you, they will run the same lie over and over and over until you cancel that lie. If you don't change your behavior, they won't change their behavior. They will run that same game for decades and generations to stall you out. And there's been a whole bunch of COONs that been letting them get away with that shit. That's why the onus is on us to step out. Can I bring it home, no family? Can I really bring it home? Let me frame this, okay? I'm about to say something that's really gonna grab your attention. I'm gonna say something that's really gonna captivate you. Let's look at the parallels between Latasha Harlins and Cyrus Belton, all right? Black child, Crayola supremacist, convenience store, shot in the back the same way. The victim has the same color. The culprit has the same color. They were shot in the same area of their body, and they were both shot over a drink. Okay, now let me bring that all the way back. Listen to this, fam. Latasha Harlins was born January 1st, 1976. She passed away March 16th, 1991. She's been gone for 30 years. The woman who harmed her was 49 years old. She's not even old enough after 30 years to be the same age as the criminal who took her away from us. Rick Chow is 58 years old. Cyrus Carmack Belton was 14 years old. It would take until the year 2067 for Cyrus Belton to be the same age that Rick Child was when he took him away. Think about that. Let that soak in. Marinate on that for a minute. And tell me that this shit ain't for real. But it's a real pattern, family. It's the same exact way. Trayvon Martin would be the same age that George Zimmerman was when he harmed him. Come on. Not to mention Jordan Davis. Not to mention Mike Brown. Where we want to go? Tamir Rice. Where we want to go? Aiyana Stanley Jones. 7 years old. She was taken away from us the same exact way that Breonna Taylor was taken away from us 18 years earlier. Aiyana in 2002, Breonna in 2020. The same situation. At night, police raid, wrong person. They hit this little girl in the neck and ain't nobody do or say a motherfucking thing about it. Where were all these Democratic shields at during this? Where was the NAACP at during this? Where the fuck was Jesse Jackson? Where the fuck was Al Sharpton? Where the fuck was John Lewis? He was walking his old decrepit ass around, still talking about Selma from 60 years ago. He skipped over Trayvon Martin. He skipped over Mike Brown. He skipped over Sandra Bland. He skipped over Corinne Gaines and was talking about how he got his ass whooped and he thanked the police officers for whooping his ass. What kind of sucker, defeated ass, punctified shit is that? Y'all know I don't play them games. Black Alpha, I speak that real shit straight from the heart and my FBA soul. And when it comes to these young children, the next generation of kings and queens, I'm on game 1,000,000,000%. I don't want to hear about no Ben Crump. I don't want to hear about no Lee Merritt, no settlement checks, no vote blue no matter who. I got disdain and will always have disdain for any of these sellouts who can fix their lips to tell us who to vote for, but can't ever stand up for these young foundational black Americans who are being taken out. Fuck to the gnaw. I ain't on that. They ain't say nothing about Latasha. They ain't say nothing about Aiyana, about Breonna. And if you look right now, they ain't said nothing about our young brother Cyrus Belton. They're hushed. They quiet as a fucking church mouse. Yup. Let this been about DeSantis. Let this been about Trump. Let this been about the Republicans. You wouldn't get them to shut up. They'd be on every single news channel, doing every single interview, talking about voter rights. But let it be a young foundational black American and a hush hush. Clyburn put out a statement the other day. It was vague, abstract as fuck, and he didn't say nothing. As a matter of fact, he tried to spin it onto gun control. Y'all know how the fuck they do. That's why I got disdain and I will always have disdain for any of these goddamn sellouts. Let this had happened to any other community in the country, and the Black Caucus would have wrote a 30-page letter condemning it. They would have had a fucking sit-in and they would have wrote a law to protect them. But once again, when it comes to foundational black Americans, nothing. That's why I always say it's us against the world. That ain't what we make up. That's what the facts show. So we gonna ride right along with it and we gonna bring it too. It's all about us, family. It's all about us. And it's gonna take this type of energy. It's gonna take this type of passion. And it's gonna take this type of FBA soul. That ancestral soul that we all have. That's what it's gonna take for us to conquer all of this shit. And family, we're on code right now and we're making it happen. And salute to all my sisters and all my brothers that we ride in this struggle together. Y'all know I love y'all. And a special salute to a particular brother who came up to me in Dallas and he told me that my energy and my words inspire him. And anytime he feels like he's having a rough day, a hard day, or he doesn't think he can go any further, he taps into the Black Alpha Network and I give him that energy to go out here in this world and overcome all these hurdles and all these obstacles that we all got to deal with. And I appreciate that, brother. I salute you. That means a lot to me. Oh, and salute to the sister who told me that I remind her of DMX, and salute to the brother who told me that I got that Tupac energy. I know I got that Black Alpha energy, and y'all know I never get tired. It don't run out. So we gonna continue to speak with real passion. We gonna continue to speak the truth, and we gonna continue to give them reality checks, one by one, certified style. Yes, indeed. Hey, you know what makes a brother feel good? Is when I got a young boy who comes up to me and tells me that my words inspire him to start his own business. And then I got a 70-year-old grandmother who comes up to me and says, Black Alpha, you my man. Keep doing your thing, baby. Yes, sister, I will. I promise you. Thank you very much. All the way live. Forever. But family, that's what it is. We got to continue to expose these people. We got to continue to call them out however, whenever, wherever. That's what we specialize in. We put in that work. Trust me, family, the black grassroots puts in work like nobody, and this black grassroots era is different than any other one before us. And when I say black grassroots, I'm talking about all of y'all. Every last one of us who's on code is a part of the black grassroots. And if you're a part of the black grassroots, you're a part of the generation that is going to change this world. We're already doing it right now. What I always say, family, if you ever wanted to be a part of something that changes the world, then salute yourself because you're doing it. Nobody puts in work like us. They can't see us what I say, fam, the code is undefeated. Anytime we've been on code, and I'm talking about from the first day to right this second, anytime we've been on code, we never lose. When it comes to losses, we ship them out, but we don't take none. Undefeated. That's where we are right now. So when you look at this situation, and I'm talking about top to bottom, we already know what time it is. We know they lies before they even say the shit. We see the bullshit all in their teeth. Tell me anybody who's done played us in the black grassroots in this era. Ain't nobody. The very fact that we can sit here and have these conversations and speak with no filter lets you know what it is. There used to be a time when folks was afraid to talk the way we talk. The way we can sit down and we can call motherfuckers out, run motherfuckers off the block, out the paint, out the field, out the country. Wasn't nobody doing that before because somebody would get scared and say, y'all's gonna rock that boat now. Y'all's better stop. We don't give a fuck about rocking no boat. That's what we do. And if you get hurt and your feelings is sour, then your ass better go sit down because you ain't built for this work. Only the strong, and we are all strong. Certified sisters, certified brothers on game. Matter of fact, we're going to go through every single bullshit ass lie that they ever told us, and we're going to highlight and show how this generation canceled that shit. Canceled it on sight. Tethers. Everybody's our friend, right? Remember that shit? That shit don't fly no more. Hell no. The fact that we got terminology that tells you a motherfucker is not down for us. They used to tell us that the whole diaspora was our friend. We don't go for that shit no more. They used to tell us vote blue no matter who. When the fuck have we went for that? We're the ones out here crippling the Democratic Party. The Democrats are in shambles right now. And it's all because of us. Trust and believe. And all this blacks and browns, minority coalition bullshit, these Crayola supremacists, we've been exposing them all the way through. As a matter of fact, when you look at this whole Rick Child situation and everything that they say, no one wants to talk about how there's always been instances of anti-black racism coming from this same person. Didn't we just say that the dominant society protects their minions and their honorary supremacists the same way that they protect their own supremacists? Didn't we say that? Well, when you look at this situation right here, you see that this Rick Child, he had a long list of anti-blackness. As a matter of fact, this guy is a menace to society who should have been off the streets a long time ago. He had over 200 calls coming from his gas station of him being some type of predator towards other people. Oh, yes, he has. And they didn't think that we'd pull out these goddamn receipts, but we have. And they didn't think we'd expose this shit and put it all on the motherfucking table, but we all right goddamn now. Family, listen to this right here and tell me that the black grassroots ain't on game, because we will find every single piece of dirt that you try to hide. We will find every single lie that you try to sweep under the rug, and we will find every single Crayola supremacist that you try to protect, and we will expose that shit front and center. Listen to this right here. This is Rick Child's rap sheet, and it's filled with violence and anti-black racism. This is the same rap sheet that the mainstream media doesn't want to talk about, that the Black Caucus is afraid to talk about, and what all the Crayola peoples of color supremacists out here have been trying to hide the whole time. But you can't hide shit from certified FBA, because we see your ass from a mile away. Run it.
Richland County investigators say in the past 5 years, they've responded to hundreds of calls made from the Shell gas station owned by Rick Chow. Investigators released this information Wednesday evening. That's after receiving Freedom of Information Act requests from several media outlets, including WIS. Officials say ranging back to 2020, at least 200 calls were made from the gas station.
Hold up. 200 calls since 2020, and it's 2023. And notice how they said they had to institute the Freedom of Information Act. What does that mean? That means that the dominant society is protecting their Crayola supremacists, so they actually had to put in a law to go get the receipts. You see what we saying, family? Everything that we speak on comes to light. Every single thing that we expose, we put receipts on the goddamn table.
Calls range from shoplifting, assaults, larceny, vandalism, car thefts, and robbery.
Whoa, goddamn, hold on. I'm sorry, family. I gotta stop that again. Did y'all hear that shit? Did y'all hear that shit? I ain't never heard no place on the planet that got that much shit going on. That sounds like a maximum security prison. It sounds like the whole goddamn prison yard. You could take everybody's charges, add them all up, and it ain't even 50% what's going on at this gas station. Assault, larceny, vandalism at a goddamn convenience store? Nah, hell no. Hell no. That shows you right there, that motherfucker is a menace who should have been locked up a long time ago. Don't come around here and talk about, what about Chicago? What about Chicago? What about this motherfucker store? Cause that shit sound like a horror shop. And 200 calls in 3 years? Family, whole police departments don't even get that many calls in 3 years. This motherfucker got them all in one place. Shows you again, supremacy protects supremacy in all different colors. Proceed.
WI's reporter Ashley Jones live on this story for us tonight. And Ashley, of those 200 calls ranging back to the year 2020, how many of those involve shots fired?
Well, Greg, I reached out to the public information officer with the Richland County Sheriff's Department, and she told me that she could not give me that information at this time and that I would need to submit a Freedom of Information Act request in order to get that information.
See what I'm talking about? See what I'm saying? Well, I can't give you the information. Now, y'all know if that was a black person, they would have found that information and they would have volunteered and gave it to them. They would have opened up every single filing cabinet they could. Family, they find old records and documents of kids when they were in elementary school. Trayvon Martin skipped school one day. Trayvon Martin got an F on his report card. How the fuck can you find documents from an elementary school on a minor, but you can't find somebody who's got 200 disturbance calls since 2020? Once again, they got to protect their honorary supremacists because they're the ones who do all the dirty work.
On Wednesday, Richland County deputies did release information on 2 prior incidents involving shots fired, one from 2015 and another from 2018. In both incidents, Chow is listed as the person who called the police. According to an incident report from 2015, Chow stated a woman walked in his store, took cases of beer and another item, and then left the store without paying.
Well, there we go. So now we have water with Cyrus Belton, orange juice with Latasha Harlins, and now you hear beer. Man, they love shooting at black folks over drinks, don't they? Don't they? Proceed.
Then followed behind her, confronted her in the parking lot. That was followed with a struggle over the groceries before the woman threatened to shoot Chow. After the fight, the woman got into a car with an unidentified male. The two drove off and then returned to the gas station, and that's when Chow fired 6 shots at the car. In an incident report from 2018, a child claimed he watched a man come into the store, take a $6 can of Easy off the shelf, and tuck it in his clothing. Chow then followed the man out of the store, demanding for the item back. Ultimately, Chow was hit in the face by the man before pulling his gun and firing 2 shots at.
Damn! This man is going around shooting at everybody. He's doing fucking drive-bys at gas stations. Now it's Easy off. So he done shot at somebody over bottled water, beer, and Easy off. God damn. Listen, family, there's a lot of things I done heard people get shot at for. It ain't never been Easy off. And you see the same thing? He claims somebody, remember that, family? I suspected, I made some mistake. He did the same supremacist tactic. He thinks somebody did something. He makes a black accusation. Yes, that means accusing black people all the time for some bullshit. So he makes a black accusation and then he attacks. That's all they do. That's a supremacist tactic. That's supremacy 101. Make a black accusation and then attack. So you see that these Crayola supremacists, they follow the same script that the dominant society does. And this guy has a clear pattern. He says a black person stole something and then he follows him. Every single one of these stories includes him following somebody and then trying to shoot them. That is what you call premeditated. That's the pretext. And I guarantee you, every last one of those people were black. See, they leaving out black. They don't want to say that because, once again, they have to protect their Crayola supremacists because they provide the human shield for supremacy. They are willing human shields for supremacy. They pledge allegiance to being human shields for supremacy. That's why they get rewarded with gas stations like this, and that's why they have the ability to walk and follow people and shoot at them. This guy's a goddamn gangster. That's all he is. He's a gangster. That's all it is. What you call somebody with that type of rap sheet that went around and shot people? He done shot more folks than anybody who done came in that goddamn store. 200 calls of disturbance. Where in the world would they tolerate that type of disturbance and not shut that gas station down? They shut down black-owned stores because of loud music. They'll put in an ordinance, make up fake calls of distress, fake calls of disturbing the peace, and your shit'll be shut down in 3 days if you're a black person. But yet this guy is running a criminal empire. Who knows whatever the fuck else they're doing back there. Mind you, they be having a bunch of them massage parlors. Yep, from that same community. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Google Robert Kraft, owner of the New England Patriots, and see what he got arrested for. Yeah, because they be having all types of back channel, backdoor massage parlors from that same group. Yep, so I wouldn't be surprised if he was doing the same exact thing because it's clear that he's running some type of criminal enterprise. I mean, goddamn, 200 calls, shooting at people. If anybody else did that, they lock us up and throw away the key.
And before pulling his gun and firing 2 shots at him, 1 bullet struck him in the leg. Those prior incidents involving shoplifting, but people who frequent the store say Chow seemed hyper-focused on trying to catch people stealing.
You feel it when you walk in. It's just like, because when you look over, they're all watching you like hawks. Like, can I please just decide what chips I want? It makes you nervous when you're walking in there. I mean, it's quiet, but their eyes are on you.
Jada lives nearby. She says after shopping at the store a couple of times, she stopped going there.
I see everybody walk there. I see the kids walk there. And it's because it's convenient. You know, I'm pretty sure they probably will go. I choose to go other places because I have a car.
Okay, that's one black person. Listen to the story from another black lady.
Another woman says whenever she shopped at the store, she didn't have any issues with Chow, but had frequent run-ins with Chow's wife.
Why are you being watched every time you go in the store? Even if I have like $20 or $30 in my hand, she's looking like, is she really going to buy that? And I'm like, what? So I've had very bad experience with her.
Family, now y'all know that ain't nothing new. Y'all know that ain't nothing new. What we've been saying in our community for the longest. That's that. You buy, you go. Ain't nobody make this up. See, every time foundational black Americans say something, people always want to get upset saying we being divisive, we being mean. Nah, we ain't being mean, we just being real. And our realness is too real for you. Deal with it. We don't make shit up. We don't pull nothing out the sky. If we say somebody's out here on some you buy, you go shit, they watching us and following us around the store, it's real. There's too many testimonies to not be true. Brothers and sisters been telling you this story since the 1970s. And now you got a whole new generation of young black kids who are hearing the same exact thing. And I guarantee you, all of us listening right now can tell the same story about going down to these raggedy ass convenience stores, these raggedy ass gas stations, and having to deal with these folks. Yes, and it ain't nothing about having money on you. The lady said you could have $30 and she still gets mad. It ain't about your money. It's about you being black, and it's about them being Crayola supremacists. That is it. You could pull up in a Lamborghini, a Rolls Royce, a Ferrari with 100 stack falling out your pockets. They still think you up to something because it's how you're viewed. That is how supremacy and anti-black racism works. It ain't about how well you speak. It ain't about how nice your clothes are. It ain't about your good credit. It's about how you are viewed, especially by Crayola supremacists, because they want brownie points from the dominant society. I'm telling you, and I've been saying this for the longest. Somebody who wants to be a W, they're just as dangerous, if not more than a W, because they got to go the extra length. These honorary supremacists, they get flued into America. Oh, you got to watch them. Because they will do anything for a brownie point. What people say, you do anything for clout? They want supremacy clout. They want mascot clout. They want puppet clout. And if a motherfucker wants that, they're going to do anything because they see us coming up as a threat to their honorary status. See, when foundational black Americans are on game, foundational black Americans are living well, they see that as a threat. First off, they don't want to ever see us above them anyway because they have pre-existing supremacy from their own homeland. But when they get to America and they see the hierarchy and they see the pecking order, oh, they don't want no black person above them. Hell nah, because the more we come up on game, them little gas stations and them little fucking trinkets that they get from the dominant society, that shit out the window. They know when they come here, they're dealing with a whole different breed of black people. They know we are not the black people from their homeland. And their homeland, they treat black people like dirt. When they come here, they better wipe their feet on the carpet. And we tell them they better. See, that's the difference. Everybody else asks them. You go to their homeland, black folks is out there saying, can you please help me? I'm black, I'm from Nigeria, I'm a student. Can I please get some money? They come over here, we like, shit, fuck you. We got the money. We flipped and built this country. They ain't used to no black person talking to them like that. Hell no. So they see our success as a threat. All of these Crayolas see our success as a threat. That's how immigration works. That's how an erasure works. If foundational black Americans get to the money, then all of a sudden, them little brownie points don't mean shit. Why do you think the majority of the opposition towards our reparations claim comes from non-Ws? Why do you think the majority of our reparations opposition are for minorities, people of color, and Crayolas? Why do you think that? Because when we get money, we gonna put out all they little fucking businesses. There won't be no little gas stations and nail shops. There won't be no little hair salons. There will be, but we'll be owning all of them. So our reparations claim is the biggest threat to them because all the little things that they get for coming over here and being reinforcements to supremacy, oh, we gonna cancel out and nullify all that shit. That shit neutralized. That's why the majority of people who oppose our reparations are the same people who chase our kids through the stores, sell us all types of outdated food, stale ass candy, cigarettes and cigars. Those are the same people who tell us you buy, you go, because our success is seen as a threat to them. Now notice, the sister who was just speaking and said she didn't have a problem or a run-in with Rick Child, but she had a problem with his wife, isn't that the same exact thing that happened to Latasha Harlins? Yes. Remember, there's always a co-conspirator in all of these situations. When it came to Rick Child, it was him and his son. And by the way, his son hasn't been charged yet, but his son was the main one who instigated the altercation, and his son chased after Cyrus Belton the same way that he did. But if you go back to this situation, she said she had run-ins with his wife. And if you look at the Latasha Harlins case, it was the lady's husband. That's who it was. The husband, as a matter of fact, was the person who tried to get in front of it and call the police and make a falsified statement. And he said how it was self-defense, but the security cameras told different. Had they not pulled out the security cameras, that bullshit ass lie that the lady's husband told was what they were going to push. So yes, these Crayola supremacists come in 2s, 3s, and 4s. Right now with this case, it's Rick Child, his wife, and his son, and with Latasha, it was the lady's husband. Oh yeah, they gonna stick together, because they all feel the same damn way about black people. I'm telling you, all these other groups be on code, and their code is anti-blackness. That's why it's easy for them to get on code. See, they'll get on code real quick, lickety-split, ASAP. Why? It's because it's all about anti-blackness. Being anti-black is the easiest thing to get on code with because the whole goddamn world is anti-black, so you know you always got backup. These honorary supremacists, look how quick they get on code when they harm a black person. You saw how quick they got on code with George Zimmerman? Yep. Y'all saw how quick they got on code with Peter Liang? Yep. Y'all see how quick they get on code with this Rick Child situation? All these clips that I'm playing right now and all these new stories and all the facts that I'm laying out right here today on the Black AlphaCast Certified Salute. Have y'all heard any of this? Have y'all heard any of this on mainstream news? Have you heard anybody break this down to the T the way I'm breaking it down right now? No, because the black grassroots, like I said, we are going to pull out everything and put all the fucking receipts on the table. You're not going to hear anything as exclusive as what we're talking about right now and as detailed with all the nuances, because this is what they're trying to hide. They're going to play with this story for about 2 weeks and then they're going to brush it under the rug. And who knows what story is going to come next. In a couple months, this guy's going to go to trial and they're going to give him the same slap on the wrist that they gave the lady who harmed Latasha Harlins. Speaking of that, let's go back a little more. Oh, we cooking today. Shit, let's go. Black empowerment don't take no breaks. If you want to look back at the Latasha Harlins case, you'll see the same exact thing that's going on now, which is the same exact thing every time someone harms a foundational black American. That's why we say there is a culture of hatred. Ain't no bad apples, ain't no bad seeds, ain't no here, skip there, fuck no. All of them are until further notice. Now, notice that when that lady harmed Latasha Harlins, and yes, I know her name, but I ain't gonna say that biatch's name, so we just gonna keep it moving. After everybody seen clear as day that she harmed our sister, she was convicted of simple manslaughter. And then the W judge who got on code, okay, and I'm gonna say her name, Joyce Carlin, she ignored the jury and she gave the lady probation and a $500 fine. Anybody who knows anything about that case and seen any of the footage, and it happened when either we weren't born or we were babies, go back and look. It's well documented. You know damn well that ain't no probation and that ain't no $500 fine. But check this out, it get even worse. The appeals court sided with the judge. Yes, so not only did the judge ignore the jury and give her a slap on the wrist, but after that, they took it to appeals court, and the appeals court still sided with the supremacist judge, Joyce Carlin. Or should I say, Karen from 1991. And guess what ended up happening, family? They ended up letting that lady go. That lady jumped on the plane and got the fuck out of here. See, that's what happens. These people go on and live their lives free. Where these young black folks, they don't never get the chance to go to college. In some cases, never get the chance to go to high school. And for our little sister, Ayanna Stanley Jones, never even got the chance to go to middle school. All we get is a, my bad dog, the rules are the rules. That's all we get. The person who harmed Breonna Taylor is sitting on the beach right now with a couple W women around him smiling. Got reinstated. We all just seen it. The guy who harmed Jordan Neely, he raised $2 million. These people become millionaires. It's a lucrative business, family. Oh yeah, top to bottom. Now go back to that Ryan Lynn or Wynn or Juan case up there in Michigan. It was the new black media who broke that story. Our brothers and sisters in the new black media brought that story to the mainstream, and then everybody else followed suit. They did not want to touch that story. Never did. That's why they never run any retractments and they never run any updates. Here in the black grassroots, here on the new black media, we make sure it's happening. See, they don't mind giving you a story they can play with for about a week and a half and then sweeping it under the rug, but they would prefer not to mention this shit at all. But what happened is that the new black media put so much pressure on them that they had to cover it. It's the same reason why these folks even get arrested. Y'all know they don't never want to arrest these people. You've seen situations where the police go and they hang out with them. George Zimmerman, they weren't going to ever arrest him. They went and talked to him like he was interviewing for a job. He said, this is my story. This is what happened. I'm the hero. Trayvon Martin's the villain. And the police said, okay, nice to meet you. Goodbye. They weren't going to say, do, or charge anybody until the black grassroots put pressure on them. And that's just to save face. You can look at them. They be looking reluctant as fuck. They be in there dragging their fucking feet, looking like they don't really want to arrest anybody, but they only do that shit as a half measure just so they can look good in front of the cameras. That's what I call supremacist satisfaction. And you see it right now with Rick Child. They did not want to arrest that guy, and they only do it because they know the black grassroots will turn up. So anybody out there that says there's no power in pulling up is out their goddamn mind, because last time I checked, voting ain't got the job done, praying ain't got the job done, healing ain't got the job done, forgiveness ain't got the job done, but pulling up, then put some hands in some cuffs, and from there we'll take it. And that's what we have to continue to do, is make sure that we control our own destiny. Don't put it in the hands of Ben Crump. Don't put it in the hands of the Democratic Party. Put it in the hands of the black grassroots. The black grassroots, like I always say, we are the only ones holding it down. We've always been the only ones holding it down, and we're going to be the only ones who get shit done. And that's what we're doing all across the board. Did y'all see that story out there in California where that guy was harming that sister and that old brother pulled up and he handled that? Did y'all see that? See, that's what we got to do. If you see a brother, sister, and especially our children being harmed, you better put yourself in the middle of that and get some act right. That's how we do it. Each one teach one. We all do a little. We all do a lot. We are all we got. So we got to hold each other down. All that shit where you're sitting there watching, you got your camera phone out, your camera's shaking, you're making jokes and you can't get the footage, you're saying, why? Fuck that. That shit is over with. If I see another person out there watching a brother, sister, or a child get harmed and don't do nothing but film it, we gonna have problems. We gotta start holding people accountable who sit back, do nothing, and just film shit with their camera phone. Making videos for your Instagram reel. You better get involved and you better help your brother or sister or you disqualified and dismissed. These other communities ain't doing that. They not sitting back watching their women or their children get harmed and sitting there giggling and laughing behind the fucking camera. You try to go back to one of their functions after you let some clown shit like that happen. And it's the same way over here on Certified Black Society. I dare your ass to come to the cookout, to the reunion, to the get together after you let some shit go down and a sister or brother or child was harmed. Hell nah, Certified's gonna see ya. And that's what we gotta practice. We gotta practice watching out for each other. We gotta practice looking over each other's backs. Y'all know I'm gonna watch your back. And I know you're gonna watch mine. So we sitting there standing eye to eye, that's perfect. That means you looking what's behind me and I'm looking what's behind you. And if anything got a problem with both of us, we gon' ride. If you ain't enforcing the code, then you ain't got a code. And over here, we're all enforcers. Or excuse me, as we say right here on the Black Alpha Network, we all regulators. All the way around and back again. So salute to that brother out there on the West Coast who held that down and handled that business. We're not patronizing these folks. We're not out here saying, here's my money. Y'all don't do nothing for us. Y'all don't hire us. Y'all don't look out for us, but we gonna keep coming back to your stores. We taking our money out of their stores. We ain't dealing with them. And that goes for all the people in the box, all them Crayolas. That go for everybody. You ain't dealing with us, we ain't dealing with you. Cause see, we can cut them folks off and they have nothing. See, they got to get paid and they leech off of us. So when foundational Black Americans take our money back, they're gonna go down. And that's what's happening right now. Brothers and sisters ain't doing it. We can get a whole black owned neighborhood just by not fucking with them. Everybody always talks about the black dollar circulating in the black community. I got the best means for you. Quit spending your money with them other folks. Buy black, purchase black, support black. If black is 5 blocks down the road, then walk your ass 5 blocks down the road and you gonna pass up that Crayola store, that Crayola gas station, that Crayola nail shop. But trust and believe, the money and the time will be well spent. All black, everything. That's what we do, because we know it's all about us, and we know we all we got. We understand that all of these politicians are only going to serve all of these other groups except for us. So whatever we get, we're going to have to get it out the mud. But guess what? We've been doing that since day one. Ain't nothing new to us. We know Joe Biden on his first day, he wrote more crime protections for them than black people have gotten in 400 years. And mind you, they got those crime bill protections based off of propaganda and straight up bullshit ass lies against us. We also understand that Kamala the Cop Harris pretended to be a black woman for 2 years. She was Sister Girl Kamala, and on her first day, she switched right on back over to Crayola Kamala. As a matter of fact, I got something very clear that shows you how Miss Sister Girl really feels about foundational black Americans and how she feels about her own people. This is her talking about foundational black Americans and our situation. Listen very carefully.
Let's really be clear about that. So I'm not going to sit here and say I'm going to do something that's only going to benefit black people. No.
Okay, you heard that. Couldn't make it any more clear. I ain't going to do nothing for y'all. No. Now, that's how she does when she speaks about foundational black Americans. This is how she talks when she's talking about her people.
The API community, when we saw the targeting, when we've seen the hate, when we've seen the viciousness of it all. And we all see that. And as a member of this community, and as a member of this community, and as a member of this community, I share in that outrage and grief. Outrage and grief. Outrage and grief.
Over here on the Black Alpha Network, we got something we call certified translation. So let's give the certified translation for what Crayola Kamala just said. She basically said, I ain't black, I only acted black to get votes, and on my first day, I'm gonna help out my real people. That's what she said. She was black for 2 years, talking about Tupac, Phife Dawg, Snoop Dogg, HBCUs, and soon as she got elected, she was Pacific Islander again. That's how it works. And shout out to Certified Black Society, because we called that shit way ahead of time. And speaking of way ahead of time, you see who's all coming on over here too. You see who they bring in. You see who they fly in. You see who they roll in all across this country, who hop over them borders, come right here to America, and they harm brothers and sisters out there on the West Coast. And then you got all the people who come over there from the West, and they start all them nail shops, and they follow our people through. That's what we say. The Crayola box goes all the way down to South America. It go all the way out to the West, all the way back around. All these islands, and they fly them in. That's why you see Kamala Harris. That's why you see Joe Biden. This is why they cape for him so hard, because these are all the folks that they bring in, and all of these folks who are anti-black. There's a video out right now with a guy showing you that they're bringing in all these migrants by the droves, and you already know what type of time they on, you already know what type of thought process they have, and you already know they represent that Crayola box.
Alejandro Mayorkas, we are in the migrant camp of San Vicente. The majority right here on the back, all of them are from China, as they are migrating into the northern borders of the United States. Venezuela, China.
Listen to where they from, family.
Venezuela, China. Where are you going? United States? United States, USA? Where are you going? USA. China.
Yes, from China.
Where?
Coming in droves.
USA.
American, New York.
America, New York.
Yes.
Xi Jinping.
They're coming in from China and Venezuela, and they're going all over America. Some people going to Texas, some people going to California, some people going to New York. I'm talking East Coast, West Coast, down south, and up north. You know that's something. That's all four corners. And this is a migrant post, and there's literally hundreds of them. So you already see what Certified Black Society is being calling out.
No, okay. USA, China. Nepal. China.
He's going down the line, family.
China.
Every time he says China, he's talking to a different person, and they're nodding their head. Furthermore, there's more.
China. All of you, China.
Don't stop.
China.
Keep going.
China, and China. Wow. All Chinese. People in China.
Don't get it twisted, family. You can see, you can tell, you already know. When we say they getting flown out, they getting flown out. And when they get here, it's all about that partnership that we spoke of. It's all about being in cahoots like we spoke of. And it's all about being reinforcements for the dominant society like we've already said. They know what time it is. Damn, he went down that whole list. So when you see folks coming in and you see them honorary members, trust and believe, family, they not just coming down from South America, they coming down from all across the globe. Supremacists, pygmies. But notice how we say that the dominant society protects all of their honorary members. Do you see with the Latasha Harlins case, the same way you see with this one right here, that supremacist judge, she protected that Crayola supremacist. She said, I don't give a damn what the jury says, $500 fine, good night. Because they understand that they have to protect their mascots the same way they protect their members. This is why they seen 200 disturbance calls coming from that gas station and they gave them a pass where they would never do it for us. As a matter of fact, shit, since we rolling and we cooking, we got more dirt on this guy. Listen.
Surveillance footage from an incident back in 2013 that WIS reported
2013, family.
Stealing cases of beer from the gas station. We reported then that the suspects ran out of the gas station while Chow chased behind them. They then got into a vehicle waiting in the parking lot, and Chow fired 3 shots at the car as it drove away.
Whoa, hold on. Wait a minute. What they just said was 2 people stole 2 cases of beer, ran out the store, jumped in their car. He ran out and started shooting at the car. Where in the fuck can you shoot somebody for shoplifting? Where in the fuck could any of us get away with shooting at somebody for shoplifting? Once again, we got instances where brothers and sisters were being home invaded and went to jail for defending themselves in their own house. This man can just chase after anybody who steals something. So now shoplifting is punishable by getting shot at. That's what they saying. And y'all notice that anytime something happens to us, they'll have you debating the undebatable. Be very careful whenever you have a conversation with these folks, because they'll have you debating some shit that's non-debatable, and they'll have you debating some shit that we all know is a crime. They'll be like, well, if somebody stole some Bubblicious, you might want to go ahead and just pull out an AR and start capping at them. When the fuck can you do that? Never. But when it comes to us, you see the rules bending. It's what I say. It's the in-laws. And I don't mean your relatives. Everybody else got some laws that's written on paper. We got some laws that's up in their brain. And it's in the brain of all the W supremacists. And they pass that shit on to all their Crayola supremacists. Trust and believe me when I tell you that. So yeah, this dude was just trigger happy. Anybody stole something, he just start capping at them. I ain't never seen no shit like that. You go up in that store and steal a Starburst and you getting capped at. And they let him go. Mind you, that was in 2013. But yet he had 200 calls come since 2020. So you see again, this man is filled with nothing but criminality. Firing shots. I guarantee you, he done fired more shots, broke more motherfucking crimes than the whole goddamn county that he live in. But they don't say nothing. They try to put the blame on us though, right? Speaking of them trying to put the blame on us, since we cooking, y'all know that they was trying to run this whole propaganda campaign about us, trying to say that blacks are the ones who did it. Came up with all them bullshit ass contrived videos. Fuck that. Y'all know that they was trying to run that game on us and certify foundational black Americans. We resisted it. Mind you, had the black grassroots not handled that, oh, they would have put that shit in the full circulation. Because you already seen the black caucus and everybody was saying, all communities needs to be nicer to everyone. Y'all remember when Van Jones was going in front of people saying he apologizes on behalf of us? Yes, all these black athletes, all these black entertainers, all these black politicians, the same one who ain't said shit about our brother Cyrus Belton, they were running around here going along with that fake ass image that black folks was out here harming people. Yes, they were. They were out here trying to apologize on our behalf, trying to say how our community needs to do better. But the black grassroots, we shut all that shit down. So salute to us. Because if it wasn't for the black grassroots family, I don't know where black folks would be. We're the only ones keeping them goddamn lights on. So we're going to continue to celebrate our goddamn selves. But they were running around here trying to make us the face of their problems. But yet, every single statistic has showed that the dominant society is the #1 perpetrators of crimes against them. What I always say, family, there's this whole culture of people who come to this country, get harmed by the dominant society, and then blame black folks for what the dominant society just did to them. But yet you see story after story after story, and I'm not talking about no fake ass videos of a motherfucker saying, I'm gonna get you, you jive turkey, and swinging and being 6 feet away from the motherfucker he was punching at. No, I'm talking about real, actual videos, real, actual statistics, and real, actual facts that show we ain't your motherfucking problem. You better worry about John, Ken, Karen, and Billy. That's who the fuck you better worry about. Y'all know how I always say don't get mad at us for calling out the bullshit, get mad at yourself for doing it. Y'all know how I always say we gonna use your own words against you, we gonna use your own people against you, we ain't gotta make up nothing. Well, let's go ahead and do that. I seen a study, you seen the study, we all seen the study. It said the mass majority of attacks against the AAPI community are not done by black people, but they're done by W's. And this was written by a lady named Janelle Wong, a professor of American Studies at the University of Maryland, College Park. Hold on. And it was based on official crime statistics. Official crime statistics, not a CNN report, not propaganda, not an ABC report, not the Black Caucus. Oh shit. Not the People of Color committees. Official crime statistics? Goddamn. They don't even know what official crime statistics are, do they? But we gonna pull out the official crime statistics right here on the Black Alpha Network. Well, according to Janelle Wong, a professor at Maryland College Park, and her study of official crime statistics, more than 3/4 of anti-that group offenders are from the dominant society. Let me say that one more time. More than 3/4 of offenders against that community are from the dominant society. Not foundational, not black, not certified. So what the fuck does that tell you about the whole campaign? Mind you, this is what their people are saying. This is someone from their community, not ours. We only citing what they say, because once again, we ain't gotta make shit up. We operate off the truth. We tell you how it is. We tell you what it's gonna be. And what the truth shows us and where the facts have led us is that y'all got a whole nother motherfucking problem. And your problem is the same group that you trying to get brownie points from is the same group out here harming you. So don't worry about us. Stay in your own lane. Damn, 3/4. Ain't that a motherfucker? For those who don't know, 3/4 is 75%. Which means that is not just the majority, that is the mass majority. Oh, and since I'm talking, let me go ahead and quote what she said, by the way. This is what she says, quote, she says, all of the racist tropes that come along with this, especially that it's predominantly black people doing it, there is not really an empirical basis to that. AKA, that's a motherfucking lie. And what you see, family, and I'm talking about all these POCs who come over here, they don't want it to be the dominant society. They don't want to believe that the dominant society don't fuck with them. They don't want to believe that the dominant society is just using them. They don't want to believe that shit. They want to really believe that they're honorary members. I told you, they make a pledge to be an honorary member. They don't want to accept the fact that they just being used as a human shield. They don't want to accept the fact that they're only coming over here to do the dirty work and they'll never really be in. See, deep down inside, what I told you, it's all about proximity. Immigration and proximity are the same exact fucking thing. They want to believe that they're going to come over here, change their name, change their skin, change their eyes, change everything about themselves and get a date with Karen or Ken. That's what it's all about. I know motherfuckers don't want to accept it. They don't want to acknowledge it. They don't want to admit it. But certified black society is going to do that for you. They want to come over here and their ultimate goal is to get with a Karen and a Ken and reproduce. That's what they want. I don't give a fuck what nobody says. Swirling from the POC community with the dominant society is the number one reason why they hop their ass on planes, they hop their ass on boats, they swim, they jump over fences, barbed wire, and every motherfucking thing they can to get here to America because they want a date. All that shit for a date. What I told you. POC's willing to risk it all for one date with Bob, one date with Billy, one date with Sally, one date with Becky, one date with Karen. I'm telling you, this shit ain't got nothing to do with anything else. Oh, my homeland is so bad. Man, if your homeland was so bad that you could use half of that energy that it takes coming over here to get your own shit popping, Trust and believe, it takes more energy trying to flee to America than it does building your own shit. So it ain't got nothing to do with your homeland. It ain't got nothing to do with the strife and the turmoil, none of that shit at all. You come over here to America so you can date Karen or Ken. So you can go to the barbecue and get you some bland ass mashed potatoes and some Brussels sprouts. That's what you dream about. Trust me, there's motherfuckers right now in their homelands tonight, just like last night, and they dreaming about them bland ass mashed potatoes. They dreaming about them Brussels sprouts. They dreaming about that steak that's got red all in the middle. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Not a well done steak, okay? A medium rare. They are over there right now dreaming about a medium rare steak with some Brussels sprouts and some bland ass mashed potatoes on the side. Y'all know that's what it's all about. In Certified Black Society, we as real as to get, and we say the shit motherfuckers is scared to say, but we gonna continue to say it. So when you look at all the statistics and then you just eyeball it, you know who's really harming them, and it ain't us. See, this little thing that they always try to paint us as the bad people, always try to paint us as the villain, that's what the dominant society has to do. They always have to make it look like there's some type of comparative hatred. They always try to put that shit on us. Reverse racism. Blacks do it too. It go both ways. And they know goddamn well that shit don't ever fly. Y'all know every 4 to 5 years, they always try to make black folks out to be the racist people. And that shit lasts for about 4 or 5 minutes because none of the truth, none of the evidence suggested. A motherfucker who's blind can see that foundational black Americans stay on our own lane and we ain't out here worrying about nobody. So every few years they try to pull that shit, and now they trying to get all of their little minions and puppets and mascots to carry out that agenda. It's the blacks. The blacks did it. I'll tell you who's really racist in America. Black people are. That shit don't go no fucking where. That's like telling a motherfucking lie that ain't got no wings on it. That shit can't even dock. Especially when you know the history. Y'all remember all the shit Donald Trump was running around here saying about them? Y'all remember that shit? But yet they was getting mad at us. Y'all remember that spa situation in Atlanta where that W harmed 8 people? Y'all remember that? And in the midst of all of this, they get mad at us. There was a story out in San Diego where they had a whole crime ring that was targeting elderly people from their community. I'm talking about a whole crime ring. Crime Stoppers and everybody did something about it. And there wasn't one black person in the whole damn thing. It was at least 50 people all got brought up on charges for targeting their elders. There wasn't a black person in sight. But yet they were still trying to blame us. Told y'all, that's all they do. They get harmed by other people or themselves, and then they try to blame black folk. But that shit don't go. So what they need to do is get their motherfucking priorities in order. Get your priorities in check. Certified foundational black Americans, we gonna be good. We gonna be okay. We gonna get our reparations. We gonna be exceptional and excellent. So you stay over there. We gonna be over here doing what the fuck we've always done, and that's be great. How about that part? It ain't our fault that Zaddy don't love you as much as you thought. It ain't our fault that Zaddy don't like you as much as you thought. It ain't our fault that you thought you was gonna come over here, jump over us, and become a member of the dominant society as much as you thought. So you need to get a reality check, and if you don't give it to yourself, y'all know damn well we'll do it for you. I'm sorry your POC feelings is hurt. It's gonna be some Heartbreak Hotel in this motherfucker, I'll tell you. Yes, indeed. Family, this is how we get down though. We understand that everything that goes on inside a certified black society, we're in control. We control this whole game. We control everything. There's nothing that has our fingerprints on it that we don't control. And that's the difference between yesterday and today. That's the difference between years ago and right now. Whatever the fuck we say, we make happen. And whatever we make happen is golden. And we make sure that certified foundational black Americans, we put our flag on everything. And that simple attribute right there changes the whole world. And the world is changed, and we're the ones doing it in real time. Not fake time, in real time. We're not coming up with fake victories. There's not some bullshit we can look back on and say the first black with a gray shirt, the first black to cross the street, the first black person to comb their hair on Wednesday afternoon at 6:30. Hell nah, hell nah, hell nah. Nope, nope, nope. It's all about real, tangible victories, things that we can touch, things that we can feel, things that we can hold, and passing that down to the next generation. And that's what we're doing. We're putting them in the right position to succeed. So there won't be no more of these atrocities. There won't be any more of these injustices. It's only going to be the excellence that we always put out and the excellence that we always receive. So when it comes to being on code, when it comes to being on point, and when it comes to being on game, you're undefeated, I'm undefeated, we're undefeated. And as long as we stay that way, everybody gonna have to deal with the truth. And that's what we bring 24/7, 365. The Black Grassroots takes no days off. All right, family, certified salute to the whole FBA family tree. Certified salute to the whole certified black society. Certified salute to everybody. It's been good rolling them up, packing them up, twisting them up, and lighting them up, certified style. Because as long as foundational black Americans step into place, everybody else has to exit the building that way. And we don't explain, we don't complain, we don't apologize, we just doing us. And as I look around, and I view and I analyze everything, it looks like doing us is getting the goddamn job done. That's why they scared, that's why they shook, and that's why the whole world has to bow down. All right, y'all, peace and love, peace and love, peace and love. Y'all know we gonna continue to bring the heat. If the world get hot, we gonna get hot right along with it. Shit get real, we gonna get real right along with it. And when shit get heavy, we gonna get heavy right along with it. We don't stop, we hold it down, we watch each other's back, we stay real, we stay true, we stay vigilant, and we stay dangerous above all. And y'all know, the Black Alpha Network, we gonna ride. All my certified sisters, all my certified brothers, the whole certified family right next to you. Love you with a passion, y'all. Y'all stay good, and always remember that black is beautiful and beautiful is always black. One love.